great for a couple game. Heavy favorite here. I have to imagine we're going to get a rematch of last year's finals.
Okay, Johnny?
I think this is going to be a good series, but I have to respect First Killer's earlier performances in the tournament. Even though he's coming through the lower bracket, Evo's coming through the upper bracket. Simply the fact that First Killer took Evo to game 5, or no, sorry, not Evo, Diaz to game 5 in the groups, makes me think that he is on that similar level as Diaz. And if he's on Diaz level, he's got to be in the grand final against him. So I'm the same. I'm predicting a rematch from last year's final.
I think if there was going to be an upset today, it was going to be in the match previous to this when Zach was able to get those first 2 games up on First Killer. The fact that First Killer locked that series down to get to this point does not spell well for Evo. It's going to be an uphill battle. I do have First Killer here, but Evo has earned an opportunity again to get a rematch against the player that knocked him out of the tournament last year, and he'll be trying to make that grand finals this time around. We've got him fully supported on the desk. Chat has First Killer here as well, 81%, one of the highest percentages we've seen in the tournament. It's time to find out who's taking on Diaz in the grand finals here. The title of 1v1 North American Regional Champion hangs in the balance, and only 3 players remain in the competition. Only 2 will get the opportunity to play for it. Who will it be, Evo or First Killer? Let's find out.
A complete sweep from the desk for one of the greatest 1v1 players in all CS in North American history, aka First Killer. The desk is backing him. The question is, can the new guard, the young guard in Evo, the person he played in last year's semifinal, can he get the job done? Let's find out. Game 1 brought to you by Progressive. It's your boy Bates. It's your man Fear. And it's Evo and First Killer going neck and neck against one another.
Yeah, we'll see if Evo can get over the big brother complex that First Killer has on all of North America. First Killer is even looking back at Evo and slowly walking this one in to just really rub in the fact that Evo's going to make the first mistake of the series. He actually had first possession there, but not able to hold on to it, ends up diving past First Killer. He's trying to play quickly. He'll need to play quickly, but he needs to stay within his limits if he wants to stand a chance.
He will. And listen, I want to ask you a question.
Hola, Taco.
Because, you know, we had me and Stacks on the cast last game.
Hola,
and, you know, we're not
Esther.
I would say, as educated on the kickoff intricacies as you and Johnny are. Well, what do you expect to see out of these 2 on the kickoff? Because I saw a lot of things last series, and I kept wanting some adjustments from Wavy, but it just never happened.
Well, interestingly, we got
Aquí reaccionando
with Evo earlier in the tournament.
a la semifinal.
About the kickoffs was he doesn't think about them.
La segunda semifinal.
So, I mean,
Están jugando First Killer contra Evo.
Naturally, like the reality is he's such a good player that he probably is just noticing trends without maybe actively thinking about it. So I'm not sure we're going to see tons of different mix-ups though from Evo's end. First Killer's had a really solid kickoff. He's going to get demo. Should be able to convert that. Evo, even picking his respawn doesn't save him. It's 2-0, so, I mean, we'll see. As we get going, we'll have to keep in mind that Evo says he doesn't think at all, see if he actually adjusts in any way. This is a diagonal kickoff. He did slightly delay it intentionally, but he loses it horribly.
Yeah, and it almost went very bad for him, too. He looked like an old school 2017 scrub killer kickoff right off the...
Un momentito ya. La cosa está mal colocada aquí. Déjame le cambio.
First Killer kind of gets hit by Evo, and Evo just pops it into the net. Evo scores his first goal of the series.
Yeah, First Killer, big greedy up high on the back wall of Evo, trying to get an interception. You have to be sure that you're either getting the ball or the car when you go up that high, because if you get neither, you can bet that the opposition is going to be taking it all the way to your net. First Killer, seeing the early fake challenge, does try and flick over the top of it. Evo's going to back off, and First Killer, a soft flick. We've seen tons of power shots from him earlier that have a ton of strength. His flick game hasn't shown nearly as much power, but he's got Evo on the wrong side of the ball right now. He has to swing his way back around. He actually manages to do so. No boost for either, but Evo, an opportunity to make a quick play. I'm actually surprised that he rotated so far out. It seems like he could have forced the issue more and maybe prevented First Killer from getting his wheels set in defense, but because he allowed that, now First Killer chasing him down and might be able to break up this play.
Vamos yo, tú y Alejandro hace mucho tiempo. No me acuerdo muy bien ahí. Hagas RL después. No creo,
For his opponents, and we saw that yesterday against AJ. He just kept going and going and going. Didn't really give AJ opportunities. The first killer, I think this is the experience he's gained over his years in RLCS. He can see just playing like a little net Evo. He's just gonna pop it right by you and score for EB.
Yeah, you know, first killer, he's got speed and efficiency. He makes it effective. Evo right now is matching the speed like you talked about, but he's getting exposed on these little pops. First killer sees him coming. A little demo. Just a nice touch to himself. Wait, he missed this. He missed this. That was an open opportunity. He had a little wave dash turnaround. Just needed to get it on that right side of the net. He did not make contact. Evo's going to pop it over the top of him. Now Evo's going to get a goal the same way.
2-goal swing right there. First killer on that little pop with the backside of Finnick. He set it up so well. It was so tough to even put the ball, honestly, in a quick scoring position, especially with the kick, with the spawn and the demo spawn and update. He did everything he needed to do but put the ball away, and then he challenged Evo with no boost. And rather than it being 4-1, it's 3-2.
Yeah, huge swing.
No, bueno. Mañana Esther.
The back wall. First killer is there to try and stop him from getting possession. But first killer is going to back off. An interesting decision from Evo to just shoot it out towards him, because if you're going to have a defender back off, you can slow that play down and maybe control the ball. He does tip this around. First killer, problem is he doesn't have any boost to work with, so first killer is going to be able to get the possession. And now headed to the air. Evo's going to meet him there, floating up behind. Nice coverage of every opportunity for first killer. First killer thinking about setting up another play. Got to the midfield boost too soon. He might have wanted 100. When he didn't get it, he goes down to the ground. Now a little bump on Evo. Doesn't get the power shot off this to score. This lob should be saved by Evo.
Should be, but then Evo kind of just gives the ball right back away. And a missed opportunity right there from Evo. Could have possessed it. Now he's got to avoid a first killer demo. And he won't. Evo caught like a sitting duck. And it all starts because Evo, on a very simple pop shot from first killer, just got to float it at the net. First killer said, here, take possession. I'm going to go back and get boost. Evo said, no, you can have the boost and the ball. And it set him up to be in a not position.
En la tarde, seguramente.
I have to agree with you. What was he thinking there? And first killer cutting off this kickoff opportunity. Now in control of the ball. Evo's not going to let him get with that. If first killer's hanging out that high above the ball, he's not going to be able to protect it. So Evo turned in. Now here's these long shots that first killer loves. He wants to get defenders back, stuck in net. Evo is going to be able to pick up this boost. And first killer might be forced to leave here because he popped it up so high. That could end up favoring the higher boost player. Evo, though, not the best flick to get out of this half. A power shot from first killer on the sidewall is imminent. He does miss this one. Evo controls it, though, even with only a pad to work with. He's able to back first killer off. A nice flick from Evo. He's got a chance here in this game number 1.
He sure does, and that's the second time in this game. He's caught first killer out in the midfield. Turning, trying to make a challenge happen. And honestly, first killer had an interesting decision he was going to make in that challenge. Was he trying to turn, wave dash, and get back to the ball all with no momentum? That didn't seem that promising from him. A very questionable challenge for a person whose challenge game usually is one of the best, if not one the best in the game. Now he's out of position again. Can Evo do him? He cannot.
Muy bien.
He's got a lot of work to do, though. Only 20 seconds left.
Hola, Adrián.
Trying to switch the field. Side flip from Evo is going to keep this in the blue half. First
No, estamos viendo ahorita la Rlcs.
First, but he can't really control the ball and get the 100 boost. Evo doesn't really have time to fully leave the play like he maybe would earlier, because he had the opportunity to bring that all the way to his back wall.
La set.
Now he's gonna have to do something in the air at 0 seconds. He might be able to get under this, but first killer taps it away. Wait a second, chance for Evo. Flick over the top. This one's still floating in the air. First killer gets just enough of a 50 to get to the ground. Wait, first killer's keeping it up. First killer's keeping it up just to rub it in. He's gonna bring it all the way to the other side of the field. He could have just let it hit ground, but now it's a 2-goal win for first killer.
I mean, I'm just loving first killer's tape. Whenever he's out here has the lead, he is not pulling any of these mistakes that you see some of these young players make. In the 2v2s, there was a game, I believe him and Tom were playing, where he just immediately started wasting the clock. And the ones we've already saw that yesterday against Zapatos, where he sat there for a whole minute with the ball. I don't know what Zapatos was doing on that play. And even right here, just wasting 30 seconds off the clock just to put this game away. It's so smart from him. I mean, you've already got the lead. Just get the game over with.
Yeah, first killer is a winner. He's not just out there trying to play as fast as possible. He knows how to secure games. We saw him baiting in opponents whenever it was possible, and he's got
un momentito que estoy colocando bien las cosas.
Evo, you know, he showed signs of life there. It wasn't the worst possible game for somebody who's struggled to beat first killer in series. He's able to at least keep it close, keep it lower scoring. Maybe that will end up favoring him as this series goes on, but ultimately first killer keeps it up. And that, to me, plays to your confidence, and it goes to show just how First Killer is going to believe that he has the edge here. Until proven otherwise, he's historically had it, and he's so comfortable that he doesn't feel like, I need to hit this ball to hit the ground. You never know what's going to happen. Like, oh, no, I'll catch it, I'll carry it, I'll do whatever I want. This is my game. This is, my field until you prove it otherwise, Evo.
Until you prove it otherwise. That is the statement, Fear. You summarized the whole entire series actually already. I know we're only one game in, but that's exactly how First Killer is interpreting this. This is my series.
Vale, ya.
It's my
Creo que arreglé
Evo, you're
el problema que tenía.
you can beat me.
Ganando el primer
in this
partido.
moment with the pressures is against
First
you
Killer,
like this.
vale.
And the experience is so
Inicia el
much
segundo
against you
partido.
as well.
First Killer
And
versus
it's a
Evo.
big question to ask for Evo from First Killer, because even right now, and even from the series yesterday, Evo talk about his speed, he moves around about a
reset.
pace, but is that gonna be enough to simply get by
Ahí salió.
First Killer, who's just so solid
Voy a hacer
in
un
all
double
facets
tap.
of the game?
Well, Evo's going to bail out of this race with First Killer, let him go up and get the ball, but he's even used all of his boost just backflipping to try to
Tiro
recover.
directo.
Now, both of them on zero.
Nah,
Evo
no
in and out of
funciona.
the net is going to elect
Buena
to
defensa.
wait and make the save.
nice.
He's done that, but now he needs to go pick up boost and see what he can get away with while First Killer sets up. Ooh, he lost the dribble, so he can't pop it up high. Interesting from First Killer, not the best execution of a position that should have been a really
creo que este
big
partido va a
advantage.
ganar
That
First
advantage
Killer.
isn't yet lost because he is going to get
Aunque
control
Evo también es bastante
of that
bueno.
corner, but now Evo's going to have 100 and a lot more to work with than he did previously when he was on the attack, but he baits Evo in for a challenge and flicks it over the top.
Pero a la final yo diría que gana
Oh,
Díaz,
man, Evo,
el brasileño.
you somehow survived the first time around, you get the boost, and then
Claramente
you
les va a
just
ganar al
lose
First Killer.
kind of put himself in no man's land again. Half decision from Evo. Should I challenge? Should I fake challenge? Instead, he opts to do basically neither. He just sat horizontal and then jumped the moment First Killer had his flick. Already up, already poised, and already ready to go. Bad position for Evo. FK strikes first.
Maybe he can condition
casi.
First Killer a little bit in order
Tocó bien ahí.
to expect those early challenges. Maybe First
First
Killer in the
Killer.
midfield throws
Shot.
the ball away a bit more often. Great
Salvado.
save from First Killer. Actually gets a great bounce to roll it away. It'll still be Evo's. Evo not going to try and go directly to the other half. He's going to try and switch to the opposite corner. Actually got a great catch off of First Killer's touch. Had to make a really fast read. Did just that. Is going to
Control, reset, casi lo donkea.
Now awkward recovery for Evo, and it's going to be another one for First Killer.
It is. Evo had an all-in play right there, Fear. And it wasn't a
2-0 para
bad
First Killer.
all-in play either. I mean, you got to sometimes go for
Paso
that,
aquí.
even in 1v1. And it almost worked out for him. Hits the crossbar, but that's okay. That is okay for Evo. Those type of plays, if he stays confident in himself, he should be able to put those away later on in the series. So FK gets down right there and goes
Basti,
for the
nah,
must.
no salió.
Oh no!
Ah.
Oh no! You
Mala
don't wanna
suerte.
see that.
This is a microcosm
3-0.
of how this series has been going and how it might go, where just
Justito la metió.
everything is going to go First Killer's
50.
way. Evo had the save, he pushes it off the post, and First Killer's just in the right spot, able to force it back in. That's the kind of bounce that Evo did not get on the other side of the field, as he maybe has advantage on the kickoff. First Killer popped it up high. Evo, how is your wall to air dribble looking?
Dribbling
It's one of the
reset.
strengths of many North American 1v1ers,
Pumpeo.
and oh my goodness, the First Killer
Ay.
will, he bumped
Faltó
Evo,
fuerza.
slowed the ball down and made the
No,
follow-up
no le dio
save.
tiempo de sacar la
It's a
pelota.
great play from First Killer. Utilizing Evo to save his own shot. Kept it out just enough. First Killer almost scores immediately as well. Great challenge by him. First Killer should have the backup right here, but Evo gives away
Nah, se la
possession
regaló.
again.
Mala decisión.
First Killer doing such a good job floating, challenging early. When Evo's trying to start possessions in his back corner, he's having to deal with First Killer already there, already breaking up the play. And Evo doesn't have a great secondary. This is low boost play for Evo late, so now he's going to be recovering back in a tough position. Oh my goodness, moonball from First Killer. I can't imagine
Fíjense
he
muy
wanted
alto.
to go that high. His flicks were lacking a
Reset,
little bit
no.
earlier. That one was a bit too much, but he just steals away Evo's aerials so easily. He seems to be positioning defensively.
Uf,
Oh
buenísima.
my goodness, Evo, great save. I
Buena
don't know if it's gonna be
salvada.
enough because a bump will secure it.
Yeah, the
4-0.
bump is always coming. First Killer, there's too much momentum right there. Evo has the backflip, and at that point, he's a sitting duck yet again. First Killer, easy goal for him. And game number 2 is starting to slip away from Evo. He's got to win a kickoff. And not only that, but he also has to establish himself on offense, start generating multiple attacking opportunities, not just a one-off all-in, not just air dribble, not a one-off shot, but multiple shots. String them together, give himself a chance.
First Killer's so good at not allowing that. We see a little bit of separation right now. First Killer reading this. Ooh, actually bumped Evo. Needs to get back to the ball and trying to redirect it. He does not get it, and Evo does get the
Bueno.
follow-ups finally one of these, buys back and forth for control does go Evo's way. He gets bumped. It's an and one. He gets his goal.
Es que ese bump.
Not an and one. You have to see that. Big goal right there for Evo. Delayed kickoff from him as well. Looks out for first killer. Bumps him. Has 30 boosts to his name. Evo does. Can he get a shot? He will. That will be 2 goals for Evo. Delayed kickoff bodes well this time around.
I'm not sure if you're going to get to see this, but Evo had a full-on camera pull on. He kept ball cam on and he searched around to try and see where first killer was so he could line up that bump and make a quick play. Evo is one of the top camera work players in the game. If you ever watch his POV, he loves to move that around. Sometimes it throws players off. Evo can just swing his vision anywhere and keep his mechanics working. He uses that to his advantage.
Le ganó.
Get that bump and secure that goal.
Quiere hacer goles,
It's funny that his face cam has only barely parts of him in it because
creo que la mejor opción sería traer directamente ir a la pelota.
I'm surprised. I think Evo had an opportunity to kind of really commit to a swing demo into the net, and now he's going to concede with first guy having no boost. Early on, about 10 seconds prior to this, Evo had a great 50-50, secured the corner boost, and first killer tucked in the net. And Evo, he could have came with speed, went for a hard bump, for a demo instead. He just kind of walked in there and didn't really do much. Gave first killer a free out of the play. He came back to bite Evo about 10 seconds later.
First killer low air dribble right now. Reset and he just has Evo panicking at every moment. Evo has not been able to get a read and is clearly trying to get one step ahead on defense and it's not working. First killer, great fake. And you know what? It's enough to the mental that Evo has had enough. He's called next, I believe. And we are going to be heading to game number 3. Evo has to bring back 4. He's known for kind of early forfeits. What do you think, T-Bates? Was this too early?
Well, I would say it's about right, but
we're a champion.
Yesterday that, listen, being down by 4, with a minute left, there's always still a chance, apparently. Evo is so 4 and Wavy put down this plate, so maybe it was that too early. At least see how the kickoff goes first, and then maybe call next right after that. But Evo's opts to go to the next game. He also, in combination with that, is called timeout.
2-0 de momento.
He's gonna take a second, collect his thoughts, think about what's going wrong in this series. And this is where I start collecting my thoughts and ask Professor Fear, what is going wrong for Evo?
Right now,
he
hasn't been able to get anything going. I mean, first killer
El día de dos, dificilísimo de ganar.
Has not just won, but he's gotten Evo to not play to any of his strengths either. Evo, it seems like he's mentally decided he's lost almost every play almost before they start, and the way that his car is moving is something
creo que le remonte
implies that if you ask me, and you see him his head down right now, he needs to find some confidence. He can beat first killer. This isn't the old days where first killer was completely untouchable in NA. Players do get wins. ES has shown how to get wins against him, so it's possible for Evo to come back. It feels like mentally he's already conceded not just that last game by forfeiting early, but has been unable to convince himself that he can just play a little bit more of his regular style. I wonder how this series would be going if instead of first killer on the other side, it was, in streamer mode and he had no idea who he was playing against. If he would play
gana el día sería
I think he would. I feel like
el segundo brasileño en el mundial, porque ganó
before the series
el KB1 de Sudamérica.
I like that point. And what do you think that he would be doing
brasileños son muy buenos.
If it was in streamer mode?
I think he'd be panicking less. There's times when first killer is on the ball, about to take maybe a long shot or something kind of decent away from the net. There's nothing guaranteed yet, and Evo's already jumping, pre-jumping, flicking, jumping around in defense. And
los otros dos clasificados son
but when you give too much respect and you're panic jumping on around everything, it's not going to work out. I expect to see Evo
Mundial de 1v1
and much more casual in that, reacting to late. He's a pretty good goal line defender. He's tried at times to exclusively goal line defend in ones, and he's found ways to make that work. I don't think that would work, historically against first killer. You can't just do that exclusively, but I want to see more confidence defensively. When first killer gets possession, Evo needs to expect him to be just another player, just another race that I'm sure he's played many times, and I think he'll improve there, get more chances to score himself, and maybe get something going.
Well, listen,
no creo. Mínimo partido se le gana el Evo.
I loved every second of it. Evo has had a car change. He went from Octane, now he's on the Fennec. And the analysis from Fear, the TLDR, the synopsis is Evo, just play your game. Too much respect for first killer. You have the ability to get the job done. Believe in yourself and let the bygones be bygones after that. Don't let first killer just win the game off of you making mistakes that you usually don't make.
Ahí se le fue.
And already Evo is gonna score immediately.
Pega directo, ¿no? Sí, sí.
Off a first killer double touch, a tip that goes wide. Evo opens it up.
And Evo stays grounded and accepts the fact that, you know, Test first killer says, I don't think you can hit that. I don't think you can hit that well enough that I need to jump, which is what he needs to be doing. Just hang out and take advantage of those
Buen saque de parte de Evo.
And maybe if we see a couple saves, maybe a nice shot, you know, from Evo, that mental can switch. Or if first killer starts to show just how human he is, if he gives any more free opportunities, I think Evo will be able to shake it off. Right now he's got a boost steal. First killer is so quick though. Evo's feeling like he's in an advantage position because he's going to take the boost and maybe keep possession, but first killer lands and gets back to the ball so fast that he's scoring the other way.
Oh my gosh, he drifts on the landing in the corner. First killer did.
La sensación como que hizo Waldes, pero no.
Immediately pop back up, and Evo's not a bad backflip challenge right there. It's reasonable, but the problem is he is going against first killer who just plays so quickly. Instant transition for him. Great goal from FK. Evo tries to go for airdrop bump. FK's up 2 for that. And he gets a perfect counterattack shot. 2 goals. The first killer in quick succession.
Yeah, I mean, they just, these air dribbles from Evo
just have
no bite at all. Doesn't seem like there's anything first killer needs to worry about. He's just jumping, stealing all of them away. Evo needs to get some resets earlier, needs to try and mix things up, because what he's doing right now is just far too easy to read, trying to pass to himself, but I would say too heavy of a first touch with that high of a bounce. First killer knows he can challenge without getting outplayed. Now first killer slowing the game down. He's actually gone to his flicks this game, which is not something I've seen him use a ton yet in this tournament, but he seems confident about it here. He does love these power shots, you know. That's never going to go in. Evo's there. Wait, he's just going to do it again.
Es jodido, pégale bien. Un roque de la pelota.
Be letting this in, but after the 3rd time slamming it to the backboard, it's going to work.
I think it was the backflip from first killer. It threw Evo off. Most people
bueno, metió un poco de presión ahí.
They go for a half flip and it turns their car away from the ball. First killer just backflipped. He backflipped and immediately shot the ball right back at the net. I think it threw Evo off, and then first killer scores again off the kickoff. And already the momentum in game 3 is all FK.
No,
and Evo
es un error
is somebody who needs to see a lead. You know, this is the reason why he forfeits so early. He wants to get into that next game. He wants to be able to feel like he's competing in the game and not needing to rush back. And instead of getting that after his forfeit and timeout, he's now again back in a familiar position with first killer, a big lead, or at least a big enough lead that Evo clearly seems affected by it. And now it's going to be another first killer goal. Evo trying to bring
Los ataques de Evo no está haciendo
into his own half. Thought he could maybe bump first killer off, but ends up just passing it to him.
Yeah, he's overcompensating. It's just he's overthinking.
Atacando, no sé.
He knows that he goes to that boost. First killer still going to be
defender.
Shoot. You got to stay in between the ball and the goal. This is universal sports 1-on-1. He knows that. It's just a mental error from Evo right there. Just has to take his time, get his composure back. And you're right. He doesn't need to force it. He doesn't have to feel like he needs to get everything back all at once. It's one moment after one moment. Still got plenty of time left in his game. Mental errors like that, it's going to end up costing him big.
All right, Evo, can he get something going in the air? This could do a lot for the confidence. There we go. The reset. Evo is on the board. He attacks through the air. We've actually seen first killer doing a lot of this, passing to himself off the ceiling for a reset. Evo's going to use it this time to pick up the speed on the ball and make it 2 goals. It takes him halfway through the game to get 2, but that could be the spark.
Could be the spark. A couple kickoff wins would bode well for him, but he doesn't get this one. First killer immediately just takes another pop shot at Neko. Why not? First killer's one of the few people in once I feel like nowadays who just keep shooting the ball in net like that. Well, that's a more archaic way of playing ones. Most people go for what Evo's doing right now. Nice little pop reset. Can he get back around it? He might be able to. No. Does get around first kill. He's done enough. Evo has scored 3.
Tenía que haber esperado un poco más del first killer ahí.
Evo popped this over the top. When I'm watching first killer POV, he seems so calm. He just goes to, you know, wave dash this wall and take it away. He seems to be sure.
El mínimo movimiento que haga el rival es mal colocado.
Challenge does not work. Evo is able to see it coming, able to get it around him. The question is, can he close the distance here and make it feel like we're a kickoff away from him taking over? First killer bailing out of this as he sees Evo's going to tap it to his corner for him. And now he's trying to read Evo challenge, and he popped it up. Going to take the shot. Evo denies it.
What a
And
save.
now Evo used up all his boost to make that play. First killer going to keep forcing the issue, actually allowing Evo to pick up 100 instead of just instantly booming the ball like we've seen him do before. Going to that flick game just a little bit more than in the past. Evo, air dribble bump, wants to get there. First killer saw that way before it happened, takes it away, and counters.
Counters he does. Counter he did. And he
Listo
scored.
pijama ahí.
First killer is playing
Qué
so
bueno.
tight. It's one of the best ways to counter air dribble bump. You just play really close to your opponent and you just sense it coming. You get up way higher than they do immediately. There's no chance they can pop the ball up high enough to also then get underneath it and bump you. It's just impossible. First killer does handle that easily. Evo almost gives
Big
first killer
challenge.
another freebie. And there was in a moment too where Evo seemed like he was gaining some momentum. He was finding himself, establishing himself in this game. Does give first killer that one, but he will score again. 4 goals now for Evo. After just constant pressure right here, puts FK in an awkward position, gets right back around the ball, and just taps it on in.
Yeah, pretty impressive.
Jodido,
diagonal
defender así.
flip. He jumped up and was actually not
A mí
angled
también me pasa
to
bastante eso.
win that, challenge as good as he was going to, but then
Creo que lo mejor sería, no sé,
control it easily. First killer electing not to hook shot here.
ponerse de frente a la pelota.
Get Evo starved out and on the goal line.
Porque si defender de espaldas,
And will
jodido.
swing around to steal boost. Evo got a good enough 50 that's going to swing out to the other side of the field, allow him to pick up 100. And maybe
Pueden
if he can get a
fakear muy
goal
fácil,
here,
eh.
he can entertain winning this game. He got it over the top of first killer. Can he get back around? No, he's not even going to try to. He backs away and
Aunque
lets first
claro,
killer
fácil es decirlo,
have
pero
it.
ya
And now first killer,
hacerlo ahí
who
en
has
el
been
juego
playing
es
his leads
otra cosa.
well, might look to do that more here. He's going for a fairly safe shot that keeps him on the ground and around the ball, and he's got a follow-up and got a 7.
Evo's got to recognize first killer's not going to go goal side in his first challenge. He's just going to go around. I don't even know. Evo actually, he believed that first killer was going to leave the corner. I don't even know why he challenged in that manner, or in that angle. And now first killer gets to wave that kickoff and gets possession. And now first killer's going to do exactly what I expect him to do. Waste time. I'm surprised he didn't turn around. He actually wants
Yeah, I
more.
know. I thought
And
he
he's
would
going
too.
to get
Flick.
more. You thought he
You know-
would turn around too? I thought he was.
First killer just owns this matchup right now, so it just doesn't matter. Like, sure, you can take it back, but also he's got to feel so good about everything he does that why not just flick it? In fact, he's gotten out of the game faster this way because flicking it into the top
Top of
right
eight.
made Evo call next. So first
3-0.
killer up 3-0. This has, been his matchup historically. He is showing why here today, not letting Evo into this. Timeout's not going to help at all. It's all first killer, and at this point, we'd be surprised to see Evo even take a game.
Yeah, and the camera body language, it's really showing two completely different people in two completely different spaces right now. Evo, you see it head and hands. You see he's stressed, he's thinking about what he needs to do. First killer, meanwhile, he's just looking at his phone and laughing. He's just not concerned about the game at the moment. So,
Yeah, I mean,
that is the difference between the two at the moment.
we talked to First Killer about his previous matchups and ask him whether or not he was tested or if he just had a specific matchup. He was kind. He said he wasn't just clear better. He said he had a better matchup against the Patos when asked him. But something tells me he'd say that about just about everybody. He would say, oh yeah, it's not that I'm good. It's that I have a good matchup against, a Chronic, an AJ, an Evo, and everybody in North America but Diaz. So I think at the end of the day, it is just, a skill diff for First Killer. He's proven it to be that case. And Evo has yet to give us a reason to believe. We see him going for those air dribble bumps often. To me, that's also, a lack of confidence in his own ability, thinking that that's what he's going to need to take down the likes of First Killer. But in reality, it's probably going to have to be more than that. First Killer has shown that he's ready for all the tricks. He's ready to get over the top of those. It's going to have to be spectacular. We saw that one spectacular goal from Evo, and he's going to have to do that. That's what it's going to have to be like.
Era este el último partido ya
First Killer, but for now,
de esta
it's all
serie.
First Killer as we start game number 4.
What kind of
Buen
kickoff
saque
the
de
first
Evo.
killer does go for? Oh my gosh, he gets
Llegó.
back to the ball too.
Bueno.
Wow.
Es un recobre muy rápido estos.
And Evo's gonna be in trouble because Evo has no booze. The first killer looking for a double touch. The double is on the way. It's top
Al
one.
palo.
Off the post. Evo gets away with one. That's the type of breaks that Evo needs. What is he gonna do with it? Oh, he has a back flip. He gives the ball back to the sniper. And
Un
of
poco
course
lento
the
ahí el
sniper
Evo.
is gonna make it from across the map. Ah, yeah.
Ah, se le fue el control ahí.
I don't even know what to say. I mean, Evo, he
Troleando
just
bastante el
hands the
Evo.
ball over And that's not what is going to get you mentally back in the game. First killer missed some pads on the way to this kickoff, but it just feels like every time I see the ball in first killer's car, I'm expecting it in the net.
First killer sin turbo, a ver si tiene turbo.
Now with Evo, but he's got a little bit of
Parece
air
dal
game. I
palo.
like this, even though this is now, it's gonna have to look something like that. It just has to be a little bit lower to force an actual save.
Tiene que haberla metido.
First killer, problem is he reads it and
Bien
gets
mal
down
ahí.
and counters.
When it rains, it pours. And it's pouring a lot over in Evo land right now, Fear. It wasn't even a bad reset attempt. They just hit the crossbar again. And not only did it hit the crossbar, it went right next to first killer. And even off the bump, first killer comes back around off the kickoff, hits it with the backside of Finnick, far post.
Evo
Look at
is Evo's not moving after every goal, which is not a good sign. Usually indicative of some tilts. You know, Evo, if he didn't like what he saw in the previous games, he's gonna hate what he's seeing here.
Reset.
Multiple resets
Así
over the
pues.
top of Evo.
Qué
First
bueno.
killer can do no wrong.
Vamos a hacer un
Can't
resumen
do
de
any wrong. Now he's just feeling it, Fear. He's going for his double reset. Nakawana, 1, 2, with the late pop. And right over Evo's head. 4 goals in less than a minute for first killer. He's already got Evo on match point. And if this goes about 2 more goals his favor, we might be seeing the
Ellos le ganan.
EXT early.
First killer.
He's not allowed to call
Creo yo.
Wait, you're right. That's the
until
rule.
Otra vez que jugaron le ganó
My
10.
bad, guys. They don't know the rules.
But
There we go.
oh, hey, there we go.
Oh, buena.
That's what I'm talking about.
Faking.
This is what you need to do too. You need a fake first killer. You need to do something to make him look at least slightly silly, because right now first killer has such a big mental advantage. But he did go flying over the top of this fake from Evo. Credit to him. Needs a kickoff desperately. I think he's just has to win this kickoff, the next kickoff, all the kickoffs. But I don't think he's won this one. First killer to the back wall. Double is in.
He's on fire. Somebody's got to put him out. He trips up Evo right here. Instantly gets the boost. The confidence on the double 2. Just with such power. No nonsense. First killer.
Está ganando muchos kickoffs. El first killer.
That should not be easy.
No,
That should
Chile
be
gana el
risk
vivo,
2 and 1.
No debería ser gol.
Maybe not worth taking, going for that back wall double. Right now, first killer in
No,
the zone.
otro palo era
He's a
mejor.
free play out there. Doesn't mind taking those risks because he is pulling it off. Reset. Wait, this is what I'm talking about. This is what we need from Evo. If he's gonna get anything going, it's gonna be up the back of the shot.
It's a pitch in the top right corner. Look at the power. 72 miles per hour from Evo. Just puts it in nice and clean. That's the type of momentum he needs. Those are the type of plays that will give him a little bit more confidence in himself. Still got to contend with the first killer kickoff, though. How does he manage? Stops FK right here. FK kind of gives away the ball. Evo keeps it close. All right, he throws it away. Can he get back to it? No, he can't. Trips up first killer, though. Evo still with possession right here. Trying to get by FK. He might just be able to. Gets a little wave dash. First killer, no boost. Evo's not done just yet. The attack is on. Pops it up high. One reset. First killer is equal to it, though.
Creo que si fakeaba era mejor,
Yeah,
pegarle por abajo.
save. First killer now. Reset the other way.
Where's Evo
Fakes.
Were you on Evo's POV right here?
No, I wasn't. I was on first killer. I'll check Evo POV.
Where is he going? He went for the boost in the corner.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. You should not have swung that wide by any means.
No sé
Did
si
not
llegaba sin
stand a
turbo.
chance after that.
That's a mental error from Evo at that moment. And now first killer just playing with his food. He's going to get the boost. Evo does get possession, though. It's not that bad from him. 2 wave dashes, and he gets a 52. But still not much opportunity. Oh, gosh. And first killer tried to get Evo to own goal.
I think the important thing that
muñeco.
Evo needs, I think Evo can't afford to concede another goal. If he does, he's
A ellos
now
les
in
pasa
a
eso.
range where he's allowed to forfeit.
Lo difícil que es
If
este
the ball
juego.
goes in, he might not be able to stick it out,
That's
even
it.
though his whole tournament life is on the
Fake,
line.
that,
First killer gets the
boom,
bump and taps it in. 7-2, 5-goal lead. Evo's car is moving though. Evo's car is still moving, so I don't expect him to tap out just yet. Means he's got his hands on his controller and he's ready to try and get something going, but it's not looking very likely.
It's not looking likely at the moment. It's a lot on him. He's got to lose another kickoff right here. First killer flipped a little too early. And first killer missed a boost. Evo did spot that. Wave dash. Evo just trying to create a little bit of pressure. But that's kind of been its problem in this series.
Qué mal ataque de Evo.
Line dribbles or opportunities. He's not really getting
Nada, está
Goal
jugando
scoring chances in situations like
bastante
this.
mal el Evo.
Everything's just way too easy for first killer to handle.
Yeah, first killer fake challenge got Evo to get rid of that ball when it should have been a position that was really strong for him. Just side flips away, trying to connect on a bump, and now might not be able to recover. He does, as he will take it to the side wall. First killer not going to allow any aerial play except the fact that Evo wins the pinch, gets the ball out, but I mean, that is just such a soft little touch. It's just going to lead to a free first killer possession. First killer can even start wasting time with a minute 30 if he really wanted to, and maybe that's what he's doing. I don't know, he just throws the ball away. First killer probably doesn't care. I mean, right now he's playing so well and has such a big edge. I don't think he's sweating at all.
Es que creo que es cubano, ¿no? Mitad cubano, me parece.
It's whatever, I can do no wrong. I'm up 5, and we're approaching the final minute.
Oh my gosh, if he scored right there, that would have been exclamation mark. That would have been the slam dunk, and I would have had to leave myself. No way he would have came in with speed and just came off the ceiling and just dunked it in like that from that angle. That would have been upset me. I would have been upset for Evo.
This is starting to look like free play though right now.
Yeah, it is.
I just feel like both players are just kind of tapping the ball around, not a real plan. Evo is going to score, but you know, first killer, like I said, Evo scoring because first killer's kind of decided it's free play.
Como que
like,
más.
you know, I don't know if he's mentally thinking about
Debería votar
how he's
forfeit
gonna do
más bien.
against Diaz later, but he definitely is not worried about this game. I mean, Evo's going to need to string kickoffs together. That hasn't been going well for him. Not much has been going well for him in this series at all. A demo. Can he score here? These are the positions that Evo should have a big advantage, but like, look at that. Just right to first killer, easy save.
He hasn't been successful. No, he's had multiple of those in this game, and let alone in the series. And he just
Pensé que le iba a meter por lo menos un par de partidos.
I just don't understand what's going on with Evo's attacking. Oh gosh, he's brought it to his own quarter with 20 seconds left.
Yeah,
this one's all,
like
this one's all but done and dusted.
This is 15 seconds of free play now. Evo,
you know, wait a second.
It's a good goal, but it's just so way too late. And it's also only going in, it feels like, because, you know, first killer has almost slightly checked out as well. I mean, maybe I'll eat my words if we see 3 straight kickoff goals, but this looks like first killer's series.
Never know. Y'all do say one's is scripted, but it's not that scripted this time around. You're right.
Yeah, it's the least scripted, but hey, maybe the grand final will be scripted. Evo, not a bad result. Top 4 is something you can hang your hat on, but man, he ran into the wrecking ball of first killer. And
Quiero ver dónde es First Killer.
to be a rematch of the grand finals last year. Diaz was saying people have not been grinding in once. It hasn't changed much. Well, he's gonna have a rematch against the same guy.
No, rematch against the same guy, indeed. I don't know, maybe more than 8 players need to play 1v1 at the moment. It looks like it's first killer is Diaz and everybody else is nowhere near. What do you think about that?
Yeah, hey, you don't have to tell me twice. Let's get everybody in there. I'm not sure if I can convince these pros to play, but if one thing is clear is that we need some new ones to try and take down a first killer or a Diaz.
Me suena que he escuchado bastante que cubano, mitad cubano.
We are headed after this break to the grand
No
final.
tiene puesta nacionalidad estadounidense.
Keith, I want to try an experiment.
All right.
To help you unbecome your parents, I want you to try a game called Rocket League.
Ooh, is it a puzzle like my crossword?
No, picture soccer.
Okay.
With a car.
What do I hang my feet outside the window?
No, not
Toca esperar la final ahora
What
sí.
you said, think of...
It's a video game.
First Killer versus
okay,
Diaz.
I get it. Where's the cartridge?
No, it's an online thing.
Is there a joystick?
Not like the ones you're thinking of.
But I need to get some quarters, right?
No.
I gotta blow in the cartridge.
Again, like no cartridge, but you'll need a username.
Username, huh? How about Keith_9914?
The bathroom code?
That's the only number I can kind of remember easily, so.
Toma. Menos pincho. Psycho chat.
Part of the magic of Rocket League is the stories you could tell about it. The 0-second buzzer beaters, the epic saves, the underdog victories. It's all there. As we return to this legendary arena, we'll witness Rocket League's story unfold together. Who will hang their team's banners in the rafters of Champions Field? It's time to find out.
Qué guapo ahora que hayan 3 tipos de RLCs, ¿no? 1v1, 2v2, 3v3. Bueno, el año anterior metieron la de 1v1. El año vuelta metieron la de 2v2. ¿Será que el mundial de 2v2 gana a Tou y Zen? Están bastante OP esos dos, Zen casi gana la final de 1v1. Fue muy reñido ese partido con el Sam, con el Nas. Minutos. Ya tocó esperar.
I'm so hungry.
Auntie?
You're too late. She's been fed.
What?
What? Aunties, you're too old to be fighting like this.
Oh! Have you eaten yet? Makes you wonder if you lost control. Leaves you breathless. Changes what you think is possible. Got me too. Brought me to you. It's got you too. Your magic's true. Your magic's true.
Two players remain in the running for the title of 1v1 North American Regional Champion, and are the same two players that were at this spot in the tournament 365 days ago when we ran it in 2025. Diaz versus First Killer will be your grand finals, the North American 1v1 Open. And you know, it feels like we could. Are we just saying we could have just emailed in the whole tournament here, Bates? Because like these guys are so good.
Well, listen, that's what I was telling Johnny. A single limb bracket, we would have been here about 2 hours ago.
Oh, stop it.
2 hours ago, because
okay.
it was inevitable that these two players were going to play each other. They're simply just the two best in the bracket. There's a question mark of where Daniel is relative to everybody, but Daniel keeps not signing up. So at the moment, we got First Killer and we got Diaz. And even in this series, I mean, it was back-to-back 4-0, 4-0s, and they did it so effortlessly. It felt like both of them were just vibing, just getting W's. What stacks?
You know why? You know why we don't do single elimination? Because then the other regions would also have to do that, and some regions in this world actually have some depth. Tyler, this region. Listen, we've known it was going to be these two in the finals. You know, kind of in the back of our minds at the very least for a long time. They both win their semifinals 4-0, and First Killer. You know, I mean, give Evo a lot of credit. You don't get to be in the top 4 without having some game yourself. But he ran into an absolute buzzsaw. And I don't know that First Killer necessarily did anything that you look at and go, oh, yeah, like this is why he's just straight up better. He just played solid the entire series and, you know, had just felt like superhuman reflexes. This is going to be a fun final.
Last time they played, it was a 4-0 in favor of Diaz. Diaz has only dropped 2 games in this bracket so far. Can First Killer change the story here in 2026? He has earned himself the opportunity, and you know how much it would mean to him to be the 1v1 North American champion. Let's get into it. The grand finals. First,
Sí, la gran final.
Shopify Rebellion and Diaz for SSG.
Pues 6,6 para First Killer, 7,5 para
3 to 5
Diaz.
goal games every single time. So Diaz absolutely has a expectation around this match. Has a what's the word I'm looking for? A standard to meet. He has set the bar for himself very high. But First Killer just continues to get better at the game, Bates, and this might be his year.
That's right. It might just be because even though First Killer did get swept last year in the grand final in this same match, they did play in this bracket.
Sí, se puso la camiseta de Argentina.
In groups, where First Killer lost in 5 to Diaz. Diaz went up 2-0 in the series, and the First Killer won game 3, 10-9. He won game 4, 7-3, and he lost game 5, 7.
Para no ser fan de Messi, buenísimo.
So if going off recent history, First Killer has elevated. He's leveled up. He can compete against Diaz now in the year 2026. The question is, can he compete against Diaz, who's vibing out the music like he has been so far?
¿Es mejor Vinicius o Messi? Messi, ¿no? Digo yo.
Here's the difference, though. You know, that's Friday, and you know there isn't the kind of pressure that players are under when Sunday rolls around. And you know, watching, I mean, First Killer absolutely laid waste to Evo. He came ready and locked in.
Con 39 años que sea el goleador de la Copa Mundial. Es loco eso. La calidad no se pierde. Puede ser un poco más lento, pero sigue siendo el mejor.
I didn't feel like there's anybody in this region that actually can keep up with him on a 1v1. And you know, Diaz has consistently brought it from Friday all the way to today. Been a huge fan of his game. And excited to
Los pros juegan bastante con el mando de Play 4.
how far this goes.
Yo juego con el mando de Play 5.
Bates, you're talking about like the weight of Championship Sunday and the
O tengo las manos un poco más grandes.
There's few players that we've seen
Me va mejor a mí
be
de Play
affected
5.
more negatively by that burden than First Killer. And Diaz right now appears to be so relaxed. For somebody who is coming in defending a title, it's you know, chasing down the top dog usually is a little bit easier than staying on top when they're nipping at your heels the whole time. But he doesn't seem bothered at all. Getting up, vibing to his music, sitting back down. It's just another.
La que esta vez sí es First Killer y no Second Killer.
Which feels like the worst case scenario for First Killer.
I mean, it could be, but I will say this is a better First Killer than ones, at least on form, at least in tournaments that you're comparing the 2025 run to the 2026 run.
Es que Dios es muy bueno.
First Killer, I mean, he lost to Wavy in Swiss. Then he had beat Evo 3-2. I mean, he just 4-0'd Evo, and it simply wasn't close in that match. And then also First Killer then lost in groups to Evo. And once again, he just 4-0'd Evo, and it simply wasn't close. I know he did beat Evo as well in the semifinals of last year. That was a rematch, like we just say, beat him 4-1. But the whole point I'm making is that First Killer has been making it look easy against everybody except for Diaz in the one match that he lost on Champions Field. So looking at First Killer's form, Diaz was better in 2025, but we have a real question that needs to be answered. Who is better in 2026? And we're about to find out.
Yeah. It is the only question that really matters, and it's why we play the game, because anything can happen, and what a story it will be either way. Back-to-back champions or revenge from the previous year. First Killer on one side, Diaz on the other. Let's know who you think has got this one. Stacks.
First Killer tiene...
When I look at this matchup, again, we've been looking forward to this all day. I've had a lot of time to think about it, and it really,
21
my
años tiene.
opinion hasn't changed. I think at the end of the day, when the dust settles, we're all going to be saying, and still, I got Diaz here.
And still. You know,
17.
I think Rock League is a game of stories. Well, Rock League Championship
There's going to be a lot of work to say Diaz is going to win. Watch this.
It's one of the best parts about Rocket League is the stories you can tell.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And and some of the best parts are they. I like that from your wave. And I just think that First Killer, a person who has not been able to get it done in threes, a person who has been heralded for so long in North America, I think it's just something, it's poetic for him to go and play ones, get better at it, and then rep North America, go to Dickey's Arena that we still have yet to see a North American come home victorious and get the job done. So give me First Killer in this matchup in the rematch against Diaz, and I think he's going to go on to Dickey's, he's going to put on a show against Nas.
Hey, my parents read
Yo creo que va a votar por First Killer también. Tercer caster.
I think it would be an incredible story, and I do think that is it's the whole reason we like sports.
Es nacionalista. Nacionalista vota por First Killer.
But here's the thing, like
Y realista vota por Diaz.
Yesterday, and asked him like, what do you do? Like, how do you balance preparing for these 3 different game modes? And he said, I'm really not preparing for
Aunque
one.
sí está bastante igualado.
That's not that great of a story here. And the story time and time again has been he gets to this point and struggles, and it makes me I hope for it. And I'll be amazed, I'll be so happy when I see he can finally get past it, but it doesn't make me believe it's gonna happen right now. When Diaz is looking as good as he is, the story of the back-to-back is incredible. I think Diaz has this in the bag.
No me lo esperaba.
It is not one-sided, but there is a favorite. Chat's got First Killer here. We've got Diaz.
Okay.
They've got
61-39%.
Going to be, folks. The European 1v1 champion Nas sits and waits at Dickey's Arena for the conclusion of this.
Pero en teoría va a ganar Diaz.
SSG versus Shopify. First Killer versus Diaz.
After 2 dominant semifinals performances, Diaz and First Killer meet once again. Last time, it was an equally dominant final with Diaz coming out on top. First Killer is here for revenge in Game 1, brought to you by Progressive.
First Killer had as good of a possible, setup right before
Primer
this.
saque, gana Diaz.
He looked like he was in free play in that last semifinal. If he was going to play to the level of Diaz, that is what he looked like against the rest of the field, because that's what Diaz looks like when he's playing against the rest of the field. Right now, North America, a matchup between these two.
Diaz.
Diaz is going to flick
Qué bueno
first,
ese.
get denied, and First Killer will get the first goal.
Muy bueno.
Great placement by First Killer, and this is off a perfect challenge as well. Straight through the middle of the ball, confident challenge. No chance for Diaz to fake him out. And interestingly, not the full pitch air dribble to start off the game that Diaz usually goes for. He had the opportunity to there, but he opted against it. Now he's been bumped away from the winning kickoff, and First Killer slots it for 2-0.
First Killer has been accurate today, and he's going to continue
Le
to
ganó el
do
saque.
that. This one, maybe, almost offline, but does manage to find it. Last one was tough to get quickly, but quick shots on net, quick, powerful shots on net. That's what First Killer likes to do. He likes to surprise you,
Uy, no cogió el turbo.
out of the game. Now Diaz, this
Lo
is
mata,
what he
no,
likes to
no
do. It's
llegó.
not the perfect setup towards his back wall, but he does like to take possession. He does not mind where he's at on the field. He'll play it from anywhere as he gets a reset. And this shot top shelf denied by First Killer. This is a great sign to open the series. He's going to boom it back the other way. This is First Killer playing his game, and it's besting Diaz's game.
Va con todo, First Killer.
Across the pitch, First Killer.
First Killer.
Looking like absolute prime First Killer. Back in the day, this used to be his
Parecía que topaban el palo, pero
lunging
entró
across
directo.
his net to get saves and then immediately counter-attack it with hard-hitting shots. We've seen plenty of that today, like you mentioned. It's been at his best form. But to be doing this so many years on from his one's prime is truly unbelievable. Diaz going to try to switch things up in the air dribble, but
Está defendiendo bien el First
nowhere
Killer.
near getting hit by that one.
Diaz did back off, though. He recognized
Se le fue.
This here on the back wall. Diaz
Oh.
is going to be in trouble. He cannot get back to this. And he is starting to make some mechanical errors here. He's letting First Killer do what he wants to do. Just boom, power shots on net, and he's up 4-0.
Great start by First Killer. He's rolling through the momentum from the semi-final into the grand final. This is exactly what you want if you want to see a close match today. Well, who knows? Maybe with First Killer's level that he's had this entire tournament, this could be the one. Oh, Diaz
Se le mete.
almost lets that one go in. He's trying to control it on his goal line. He lost control, gives away possession.
Reset.
Could have been easily a goal there. Oh, what a save, Diaz.
What a save.
3 boost to his name. Under
Hola,
so much
horchata.
pressure here.
First Killer trying to keep it awkward for him as he has 3 boosts now. And will look to Flick to give it a little bit of height. I don't know why he thought he could follow it up. Maybe because I just watched First Killer win 1,000 races in a row in the last game. But if you push that ball in the air that much, you gotta know that First Killer is going to take it away. And he just takes it off the top of his car to make it 5-0.
Yeah, I think Diaz is just hoping that First Killer reads that he's not going to go. He's hoping that First Killer is thinking, oh, well, there's no way Diaz goes for that, because I've obviously got him beat. But First Killer went just to be sure and gets the goal as a reward. 5-0 in the first 2 minutes is a crazy scoreline. That's exactly what First Killer needed. But Diaz has looked a little bit off here. Oh, he gets 1 goal. As First Killer looks to cross no man's land and challenge. Diaz just pulls the trigger. But yeah, we've seen a couple of mistakes in this first couple minutes from Diaz. He's done that little chair shuffle he did against Zach as well, looking to get comfortable.
That was a mix-up from what we normally see. A high bouncing ball on the way to the ground. Very easy to chip up and start an air dribble with.
Hola, Tiziano.
Normally somebody who wants to do that every time he possibly can. This time,
Que va, horchata. Ese te humilla a ti.
Maybe saw that coming. Diaz tried to pre-jump this. First Killer maybe made it seem like he was going back down to the ground, but he uses the reset to go over the top.
Oh, just a great shot by First Killer. The scoop with flip reset to make it 6-1. Now, Diaz has been known to forfeit early in some games in the past, but I really think he's going to work his way through this one, try to figure out what is going on. The level First Killer is playing at right now is just crazy to witness.
Solo voy a ver la Rlcs nomás, horchata.
It's Diaz nightmare. First Killer off the post though.
Uf, le dio el
That was just
palo.
a millimeter away from being a goal for him, but instead it's a goal for Diaz.
Era el 7-1,
Huge swing. Huge swing in favor of Diaz.
Ojalá lo hubiera metido.
To get going, but definitely needs to stay in this game. Cannot leave early. This is not like, you know, previous First Killer matches where First Killer runs away and there's no hope. There is hope for Diaz, and he just needs to figure out what the answer is going to be today. But First Killer, man, is going to get his one right back.
¿Tienes Discord? Sí, horchata. Cuando juegas, mañana, Tiziano.
To completely block it in the direction he chooses.
Que puede ser que de noche haga otro stream.
Anyone at the top level doing as consistently as First Killer. This is his
Me lo pasas.
strategy that he goes to every now
No
and
está ahí
then.
en la descripción.
Worked out wonderfully there to keep himself ahead by 5. Now here comes Diaz. This is what he is always so good at, and he makes it work once again. The only difference being he's used all of his boost for this one. This was all in.
Yeah, this is
Así no, así no, horchata.
First Killer missed a
En la del canal dice ella. Está en los links.
Didn't pick it up. Not sure it would have ended up mattering.
O si no, métete a mi canal de YouTube. Ahí está en la descripción, está el link de Discord.
On these kickoffs, First Killer has just been so quick. He was winning this way earlier.
8-3.
Gets the ball, you know, off the kickoff. He's so quick to recover and
Uy,
get
el
a shot.
kickoff.
And he even delayed the shot a little bit there. First Killer knew that if he made the first move, Diaz could pre-flip and deflect the ball to the corner. So he just waited.
Parece roque ese juego.
And then made a move for the ball when Diaz closed the distance. It's going to be next. Diaz is forfeited with 1 minute and 54 remaining in the game. What a start for First Killer.
9-3.
Yeah, this is, you know, I don't know if I agree with Diaz trying to tap out of this game. We've seen him
GG.
score a lot of goals before.
Buen partido de First Killer.
Such a long time in 1v1. Yeah, it's just a ton of time. And he has no answer right now. I mean, he needs to figure out an answer to the kickoff. He needs to figure out an answer to something that First Killer's doing. And it would have felt like a great opportunity to do that over the course of this game. And not only that, even if he brings it back and loses still, and loses by just a couple goals, the feel of that is way different. And I feel like could play in his favor. Right now, First Killer has to feel amazing. It doesn't get better than that. You're just scoring instant goals 5 seconds off the kickoff every time, and your opponent wants out with 2 minutes to go. I mean, it doesn't get better than that for First Killer.
Yeah, that was dream first game in the grand final, and First Killer coming through the lower bracket here because of the amazing format that is the AFL format. Doesn't need to win 2 series. He could just win the 1, and he is in to the World Championship representing North America. Yeah, Diaz has got to switch something up here. He's not left the lobby. I was checking to see if he would, because yesterday he changed car after going 2-0 down against Zach, came back in the Octane. He might still change car, even though he's not left the lobby. You can do that, but usually players prefer to go out, change outside the lobby, make sure that they are selecting the preset that they want. So maybe he's holding off on that for now, just going to play another Fennec game. We're about to find out.
Yeah, he can keep that in his back pocket. It did seem to change things, but he's not keeping it in his back pocket. He knows exactly which octane preset he wants. He doesn't need to go to the lobby to figure it out, and he has switched to it here in game 2.
Maybe he just has two resets, Octane and Fennec, but the result this time has been the same. He's lost the kickoff again, and First Killer is going to be leading again. So this is a change up from yesterday. He said so in the post-match interview that the Octane was winning more kickoffs for him, and that's not happened so far against First Killer. We'll keep an eye on the trend. Who's getting more possessions? This one will
que le ganó Díaz vuelta.
Will it be a direct goal? Okay.
Qué asco de saques, ¿no? Cuando te ganan así.
Yeah, Diaz able to force this off to the right. First Killer was trying to push it the other way, unable to muscle it through. But First Killer, you know, in a Diaz domination, it feels like it would be slow and methodical. But First Killer's showing right now that a heavy First Killer sided series is going to be really fast, and just First Killer can run it up. You know, when he's dominating, he's scoring goal after goal after goal. When Diaz is dominating, he's slowly breaking you down through the air, gliding like a ballerina as you fly over the top of the ground, pushes it in to get his goal.
Yeah, perfectly timed here. It's Diaz. Fakes the high air dribble. First Killer went extremely high with his pre-jump. He was over the top of the ball at the entire approach, which would indicate that he expected Diaz to hit that really hard, maybe even go up to the ceiling. But First Killer with a chance to equalize here with an air dribble of his own. One reset, looking to air dribble high.
No era mala idea, pero
get the demo on Diaz, but he does get the boost steal. Diaz 23 in defense here. First Killer always getting such hard hits overhead to keep his opponents out of position, but Diaz is building back up here with boosted momentum.
First Killer tries to get the angle. Diaz cuts it off with very little left over and is able to get 100, so reward for a great save. He's going to play a little bit of First Killer's game by just booming the ball towards net and trying to put the defender on the back foot, see if he can't continue that for goal. Maybe wants a demo or a boost grab. He does get the boost. First Killer's trying to dash his way back to the ball and score on 0. Sometimes you can take advantage of that person being on the wrong side of the ball for just a moment. First Killer faking here and gets a goal.
It's First Killer's tempo right now. This is the pace he wants to play at. Just keep things moving. He doesn't want to slow down for a heartbeat. Diaz not able to keep up with him there. Knew he had to flip in front of the ball. Otherwise, First Killer could score. Gets faked out as well. Does seem like the kickoffs are going more even though. Back and forth for the time being. And I do like that long shot from Diaz earlier in the game. That's going to keep First Killer grounded, stop him from pre-jump and air dribbles.
What I don't necessarily like here from Diaz is he had an opportunity to do his bread and butter. He had possession, he had First Killer on 0 boost. There was no way First Killer was close enough to chase him down. Previously, Diaz takes that to his own back wall and plays to the air. This time, he popped the ball up infield, allowed First Killer to stay on ball and stay involved in the play. That's the game First Killer wants to play. But Diaz now, you know, lacking a little bit on this air dribble. He still has huge boost advantage, so he's just doing this as a way to get First Killer away while holding on to that boost. And this flick is good enough. First Killer just reset on 100, but it doesn't matter because Diaz gets the goal.
Wow, what a finish. Diaz had to make this one count. First Killer had the boost advantage in defense there. Diaz does score with this flick, the standard classic style.
Dopamina.
Kick off possession left side of the pitch. First Killer forced back by Diaz, demoed by Diaz. He'll be able to spawn in the way of this, but Diaz still able to get the goal. Great control, knew where First Killer was going to spawn, baited him in with the pop, and shoots it over it.
And didn't just know where he's going to spawn. When he put that shot on target, he knew the one place that First Killer had to go to save it. So after he put it there, just chased down the spot that he expected First Killer to be at to get that demo in the first place. Now another kickoff goal, maybe directly towards the net. First Killer, tried to catch
no se podía sacar esa pelota,
nice save, but Diaz gets the goal.
It's just fascinating to see Diaz 2 days in a row switch to the Octane and start winning 50-50s, which, you know, is what kickoffs really are. The Fennec's usually the card that's more known for its 50s. But Diaz, same hitbox, of course. Able to, he's still goal, not that he can do much about it. But Diaz, he loses this one.
The block kickoff from First Killer, he just created a wall again.
Mal 50. Pick of the Diaz ahí.
Nice bump as well, pull shot, own goal.
Yeah, nice play from First Killer. It's interesting to see, you know, a mix-up like this deep into the tournament. We'll see if Diaz tries to pick it up at all, if he notices what First Killer is doing on the other side of the field, because right now it has a really high success rate when he's gone for it. He's let Diaz get baited in, and First Killer will run the field.
Well, honestly, I just have no idea what Diaz was thinking here. That's so obviously going to be an open net for First Killer. Someone who can hit the ball as hard as First Killer, as consistently as First Killer can. Diaz has really, really under-hit that touch as he attempted to turn on the wall. Big wall play coming off.
A ver, Diaz, ¿hay dribbling?
He
No.
decides to go in field with it. Just
¿Hay
letting the
dribbling?
ground to air dribble be his main takeoff.
What a
In
save.
the grand final, we've not seen many back corner, any back wall air dribbles. Even off the wall, it's mainly been from the ground for Diaz.
And that's a switch up from what we've seen him do before. He's going to have an opportunity to go from the ground here this time. Sees First Killer up and then decides, you can have it. You can have the ball. I'm going to go take your boost. I'm going to try and work it off the landing. First Killer's done a good job scoring from these positions when he has very little. And he's going to try and chase Diaz down. Diaz has to dodge the boost.
Nah, no te creo que
He
volas.
shot in. I think he missed it wide. So no
Hostia, o sea, yo pensé que
goal.
entraba.
As First Killer actually going to try and switch field here. Diaz was prepping for it on the other side, but wait,
Oh
he's
my
left
God.
the ball and it's open.
4-6.
Yeah, First Killer too afraid of the demo here. Did not want to get taken out of the game. So he drove up the wall. Diaz with the lower turn had the open net staring him in the face. 2-goal advantage to the Brazilian, trying to be North America's representative 2 years in a row in the 1v1 World Championship. For him, he's got unfinished business at 1v1 Worlds. Now that he's seen the defending champion now qualify again. You'd have to go through NAS, of course. The winner of NA will be playing against EU's champion NAS in the semis at Dickies Arena.
And I think Diaz would love to get back there. When we saw him there last time, I'm not sure we saw him play his normal game. He wants a second chance. And he's been playing better on land in other game modes recently. A nice little 50. He's got First Killer dancing behind the ball. Ultimately, forces his way through.
Me amago.
It's so clear to see the pace that these guys want to play at. First Killer, when he was in control of game one, and even the start of this game when he was getting more possession, continually up in the pace, getting the game moving as fast as possible. And that's what enabled him to win so comfortably against Evo. He ran into an opponent who's quite happy to do the same thing, and First Killer's just in his comfort zone. Diaz is not about that. He's controlling the game, he's slowing it down. He's using bursts of speed instead of average
First
speed
Killer.
to outplay his opponent. Yeah, First Killer starting to feel the pressure here in game two.
Muy arriesgado hacer eso.
And we see that sidewall dribble working this time. Diaz will take it to net if he needs to, but he's more than capable of reading the defense when need
Contra
be.
Dia.
Here is
Más.
air dribble that's not headed to the net, not yet, at least not before. Diaz gets a couple resets and places it there. First Killer, though, angled to make that save. So not only does he get that save, he's going to get a follow-up touch as well, but really, First Killer just needs to be
chat? No.
It's a skim shot down the
Psycho,
side of the
psycho.
field, or the length of the field, I should say. But that should do it. I mean, even that clear probably takes up enough time. Diaz should be equalizing here.
Yeah. Oh, it looks like First Killer will get one through. And
Parece que había llegado, ¿no?
Diaz can't believe it, because he thought he did enough here to block this
Ah,
right
lo
before he
bumpió.
made his touch on the ball. Whereas Killer just bumped him out of the way. Technically still possible for First Killer. We've seen it happen before, but against a player's experience as Diaz, we don't think this is going to work out for First Killer. Diaz is bound to, as he has here, win at least one of these 3 kickoffs. And he's won the first of the 3.
Diaz, good response. Slowed the game down to be played at his pace. He likes to pick you apart and make you look silly for playing fast. First Killer has not been easy to make look silly at any moment.
Segundo partido
And
para Diaz.
if he gets to, get enough first
Empates de
possessions,
momento.
and we maybe did that a little bit better when Diaz was not in the octane, but with him in the octane, not as many first possessions, wasn't able to dictate pace of this game, and it ends up going Diaz's way.
Yeah, initially, it's very animated Diaz.
Yeah.
Initially, it was First Killer on the board. He, let Diaz back into this by pre-jumping a bit too much in defense. First Killer's just got to try to stay composed when he's on the defensive end. But yeah, you can see he's very annoyed at
Creo que están hablando con el
the game
coach, ¿no?
is going. He's very annoyed at the fact that
Supongo.
Diaz is controlling the ball so much.
Es me hace sensación.
I mean, that's how Diaz is going to want to play it. He is going to want to take this ball into the air, slow control, It's what Diaz's game has been for a long time. He seemed to know that he was going to be playing
Bueno,
against
simplemente
First Killer
están
here.
ahí
He expected First Killer
un
to
poco
be back
enojados.
when he was talking in the interview, but he's the one who has grinded ones. I mean, I think he's stayed fresher than the rest of his North American brethren, who he says does not grind the
Game
game
número
mode. It's time for
3.
him to prove that the extra practice is the difference.
Primer kickoff
as
para
we're all
First
knotted
Killer.
up in game number 3.
Diaz. And then start off with some defense. First Killer tested him with some early shots. Diaz has 4 boosts. How's he going to use it? Well, he's actually managed to build up to 7. A huge increase from a percentage standpoint, but still had to do some more work. That's still overall very well done
Challenge.
to get the turnover of possession. And kind of starting off his first back wall air dribble of the game. He goes low with it as the takeoff was extremely down.
No tiene mucho tubo First Killer.
He tried to launch a long shot, not enough boost to get the power.
He's got another chance to air dribble, and he's been declining these, which is very unlike him. For some reason, he's loving the ground to air a lot better. This one's going to get dunked by First Killer. First Killer is always going to try and counter this quickly. He loves his ability to just get a sweet touch to set up the shot. He does it better than anybody else.
You know, in fairness to Diaz, he's not ran into too many early challenges from First Killer. You know, whenever he's faking the wall to air dribble and cutting in field for the ground dribble or the ground to air dribble even, First Killer's letting him have the space. He's letting Diaz take the bouncing ball. So from that perspective, Diaz dash does pre-flip for the save, but he's really in trouble here. Overall though, I think Diaz has made a good read on FK. FK's backing down. Giving him space.
Hostia,
that
¿cómo
was
entró
not
eso?
enough space, so it's Diaz trails by 2. First Killer just taking enough shots.
Paniqué un poco ahí el Diaz. Creo que le puedo haber controlado.
Trying to put it high. Knows Diaz on low boost is going to have no choice but to not jump up there, and ultimately could not clear it out. First Killer looking to try and keep things going as Diaz is going to pre-flip, grab boost, maybe play out of the air, but no, he's going to back off. First Killer will clear it down the length of the field, and now should be able to. Oh, maybe missed.
Bueno, ahí lo que hace es que gasta bastante turbo. Tirándole la bola, pero no.
First Killer tries to stay in the play on 0 boost, and
No sé si es tan efectivo hacer eso.
he will actually leave as Diaz has the ball carry, double jump. First Killer's doing a great job of cutting these off. He sees, he senses them, he smells the air dribble bumps before they're here, and gets around and jumps over the top of them.
Yeah, he really does. And now right into the pinch. That's huge.
Tremendo pincho.
Has broken the sound barrier with a monstrous pinch to make it 3-0.
136 kph, 85 miles per hour.
85 millas por hora.
Almost too high. Almost too high. I can't believe
Entonces era 110, no sé,
We saw him do that yesterday.
en kilómetros.
Sure, he likes to boom the ball normally, you know, on a regular power shot, but apparently he's practiced shooting from distance off these pinches as well. Now passing to himself off the ceiling. That is not going to have quite as much success, but he is trying to get this game to run like game number 1, where he can run away with it. He's going to muscle this through. Diaz got back, but he's not strong enough.
Yeah, Diaz a little grin there. He's trying to bait First Killer into going for the boost steal.
Vaya
Looking to
tanque.
hit him with the counter attack straight down the middle of the pitch. But First Killer does not fall for it. He just stays on the ball and wins 2 50-50s in a row. That's the 8th shot the First Killer's taken this game. Diaz only has 1 as we approach halftime. First Killer completely controlling the game, and once again, whenever he does, it seems like the pace when First Killer's on the ball rises significantly.
Diaz trying to get a possession that can maybe slow this game down, has the ball on top of his car, so what does First Killer do? Dives immediately, backflip challenges, breaks it up. He wants them playing back and forth, constantly trying to give
reset,
Diaz, I'm not sure if it's reset, he has to go get it again because he didn't have it the first time around.
Creo que exageró.
First Killer here.
Un reset es más que suficiente.
And now the ball's popped up, so this is heavy advantage to Diaz, who likes to go down to the ground and roll it up the back wall. First Killer is still not in a great spot. Diaz, though, shoots it directly at him. It's not over yet. Diaz continues his possession. Shot top right, this time it's in.
Well, honestly, thank goodness for Diaz he scored, because the previous shot was straight at First Killer, who was stranded in the net. The First Killer, I guess, greedy for that 12 boost pad, if it's possible to be greedy for a 12 boost. He tried to turn around after grabbing that to make the save. Understandable to want that one.
Uf, vaya control. Reset.
Against Diaz. And still,
Parecía que le iba a sacar, pero
He was
Un poquito
down
se le
and out
pasó.
for the first half of this game.
Por encima.
Now here he comes.
And every time he does a wall to air dribble and scores like this, I have to wonder to myself, why is he declining these? You know, why is he declining these in other moments? It doesn't seem like he's
Kickoff para
shaky
Díaz.
in that front playing today.
O para
Every
First
time
Killer,
he goes
perdón.
for them, they seem to be going well, and yet in general he wants to avoid them. I'd like to see him stick to them until, you know, they don't show success, especially now when you don't want to let First Killer get 2 games. You know, maybe you're trying to save something, you're trying to mix things up as the series goes on. I don't want to let First Killer
Otro líder
get
First
too
Killer ahí.
much.
Tiene la
He's
posesión.
keeping this one close. A nice long shot.
Hay que obligar ahí. Metió la
Just a little cat and mouse in the midfield. First
pelota en
Killer
el arco de él.
just lost his momentum briefly, trying to grab mid boost. Well, he did get the mid boost, but left his net open to do so. Diaz, 3 goals in a row. After he got his first one, it seemed like the game completely turned around in his favor. First Killer's got no boost on his back wall. Diaz dunks on him. Great read. First Killer is trying to bait him in. And Diaz obliged.
Yeah,
Le
this is
pegó
an
con
example of
Moscow.
trying to play for possession maybe from First Killer. He could jump, he could try and 50 here, but jumping with 0 boost is usually
Era un desfallo,
and he is not interested in that. He'd rather potentially get
Era en el momento
over
adecuado.
the top of him and get scored on, which is likely to happen either way. There's a small chance that keeping his wheels on the ground allows him to maybe stay alive in the play. Now he's having to play defense again. Diaz gonna rip the crossbar and get forced back. He's had a
Otro
couple
4.
of air dribbles, but he's mostly had to do them off of awkward starts and hasn't really been able to get them
Yes.
all the way the length of the field like he's known for. Does get a good boost grab here. Still not the best setup. We'll look and see if he's able to switch the field and go for a wall.
Joder,
air
están
dribble on this
igualadísimos.
side. Again, they've looked really strong. I wanted to keep going for it, but he hasn't been able to
No,
get
le dio
his
reset.
resets. Drops down to the ground and might even give up possession.
Yeah, huge chance for First Killers. Not many chances
Reset.
in the latter half of the game. Here's one of them. Goes low. Diaz reads it. First Killer backs
Se da
up
cuenta
as
del Diaz
Diaz
ahí.
turns. Ceiling reset for him. End-to-end stuff. He's used a lot of his boost.
Big reset.
Mind game
Ah.
is good. With the wave dash shot straight at a pre-jumping FK.
And that touch off the wall. Look at this ball. Gets so close to the ceiling without hitting it. You got to make sure that it does not bounce into the ceiling and fall back down faster than you're expecting. It is a perfect touch from Diaz to start the aerial in the first place. And now a delay kickoff as he tries to secure this game. He's dodging First
¿Quién le
Killer's
vas?
demo attempt as he picks up the back 100. And he's going to switch to the opposite corner. We'll see if he takes
A
the
Diaz.
dribble or if he just baits First Killer in. He kind of delays it slightly before actually getting up into the air. And First Killer's taking it away clean. He's going to have a free net.
How has First Killer successfully challenged this? He is so quick to the air. I mean, that is just absolutely perfect. Right before Diaz can make his
¿Y tú? ¿A
second
quién le
touch
vas?
on the ball. Diaz thought he did enough. He thought First Killer would have turned. He delayed his takeoff.
First Killer.
read it the whole way, but here comes Diaz again. Off the wall. Final 10 seconds. He can go pretty all in for this one. Same shot, same result. The mind game, the wave dash, and the goal.
Diaz has looked so good off the side wall, able to win that kickoff there. First Killer, such a tough read to make against a guy like Diaz, but he's got 6 seconds to work with on a diagonal kickoff. He goes for the block kickoff again in a crucial moment, but this time he's blocked it into the control of Diaz, who has just to let it hit the ground. First Killer actually, wait, what? No way, it's in the air. First Killer has a chance. He's gonna flip back to this, pop it back up in the air. Diaz has boost to work with. Will he fake? First Killer seems to think he might, so he rushes to the ball and hits it to the ground.
Game 3 para
will take
Diaz.
this game.
Wow, what a comeback by Diaz. First Killer was up 4-0. Diaz only had 1 shot in the first half of the game. He finishes off with 12 to First Killer's 11. A complete second half takeover, patiently done by Diaz. And First Killer's got to be scratching his head at that one, wondering what went wrong, because everything was going his way. He was picking away at Diaz's defense. Diaz is looking frustrated on the camera. He even scored one of the best goals we've seen all weekend with one of the fastest pitches you're going to see all season. But then it started to go Diaz's way, about 2 minutes to go. And it was in large part due to that reset. He got over First Killer's head. Clearly First Killer remembered that, because later on in the game, Diaz hit resets underneath First Killer, predicting the adaptation from FK's defense.
Yeah, it's just great play off the wall from Diaz. And, you know, when he hesitates, it hasn't looked quite as good. I think back to the crucial goal that gave First Killer a real chance at the end there, where he was trying to waste time, so he hesitated on his touch, ultimately decided, I probably still should take the air dribble, and then we saw First Killer take it away. I don't think there's any reason for Diaz to doubt his game. You know, we normally see him in free play type mode in some of these 1v1s where he's just taking every first touch up into the air and he's just bringing him up there and breaking down defenders left and right. Seems like when he gets to that, he's still doing well, but maybe trying to play it just a little bit safer here in this RLCS Grand Final.
Partido número 4.
Do in show matches. For now, it's okay because he's got the lead in the series against First Killer, but First Killer is right there trying to catch back up.
Yeah, I think we've got to credit First Killer's defenses. These guys have played already in the group stage. And clearly Diaz doesn't think
Es que los fakes están muy OP.
share dribbles against FK, starting off game 4 with a pretty unconvincing fake challenge from Diaz.
Ya te comes el fake, ya.
Just low 50,
Es gol prácticamente.
right through him on the goal line for 1-0.
First Killer to the wave dash as he tries to pinch this away, not let Diaz get boost and ball, but it looks like that is what Diaz will get on the left side wall. And he will take him into the air. First Killer was already up. Diaz, Diaz!
Son nervioso.
Not able to finish it.
El First Killer ha sido tirado, Oh my god.
Initially, it looked like Diaz had done the hard part. He saw First Killer's challenge coming,
Wow.
but he couldn't get the finish. He missed it while trying to be too safe. Obviously, he's a bit afraid to hit that hard into the ground in case he misses, but you've got to get some contact, of course. Another good start for First Killer in what's starting out to be an extremely interesting grand final.
Diaz into the air, way ahead of the ball. What he's going to do now? Tries to go back to pop it up, but ultimately didn't love the dribble. Diaz does not mind going back to his own half. First Killer trying to chase him down, not let him keep the possession. First Killer will pop this up. Diaz was hoping for a demo, didn't get it. Now on 30 boost, he's going to have to play the ball. It's going to work out. First Killer looks awkward, and Diaz will get a goal.
I can't believe Diaz has gone for this. There's no way First Killer expected him to do that. With low boost in the back corner, usually that's the one place in defense that you feel comfortable in. Back corner with the ball close by. Diaz found a way through, and that bump on First Killer was critical to successfully score. First Killer flipped.
Para Diaz.
Diaz knows
Tiro
that
directo.
the first shot will be uncontested. That sets up more in the future. First Killer's found time to grab boost to the back corner, but Diaz is faked him out. And that's the danger of giving your opponent space.
First
Killer with a little wiggle in the post. Goal celebration. I guess not really a
se puede
celebration,
nerfear.
is it?
It's a great hook shot fake. It's so threatening to be able to shoot that near post. First Killer believed it to be true, but Diaz fakes it. Oh, nice undercut. First Killer going to retake the lead. Little wave dash to catch back up to it to guarantee it, but a strong kickoff puts First Killer back on top.
Yeah, Diaz is in a world of trouble there. You know, he's got to go for the ball, and he needs a wave dash to get there. But by doing so, he just telegraphs his movements at First Killer. He was able to bump
Ay, se fue de largo First Killer,
Diaz
Me falta un poco de control el Diaz ahí. Creo que hiciera gol. Demoró mucho.
Diaz fake challenge. Gets First Killer off the ball immediately.
Nah, troleó el Diaz.
Diaz didn't see that one coming. What a move by First Killer.
Diaz was hoping to control this. I don't know if he liked the touch he got there, because he just gives it right back to First Killer. Maybe he was just expecting him to completely leave, and that's why he wasn't too worried about it, but not a good control.
Aquí por Diaz otra vez.
Diaz out ahead of First
Boom
Killer.
peito.
Seems like an opportunity to go quickly here, but Diaz in general likes to
Doble
slow
salto,
down.
bombeo.
And First Killer able to
Así.
get around the double jump bump
Cerca.
there. And he's going to have to get back possession, though.
Menos mal.
Diaz, a little bit awkward. He's not able to get an air dribble going out
Planeado.
because it's so close to the back wall that lands on the ground. He's got a dribble at 1 inch height here as he takes it down the field. First Killer able to take away possession, though. Flipping through the ball, going to get a reset and one last shot. Diaz stops it and gets it to the back wall.
Yeah, Diaz using some boost to close the gap here. Does not want First Killer to turn, but First Killer's found a way to do just that. Create some space in field. He's got so many angles to play with. Diaz managing his boost well in defense here, but First Killer's going to try to put one past him with a reset. Top shelf is good. That's 5-2.
Great shots from First Killer. You see Diaz going out for pads. Didn't think his 30 was enough. Got all the way up to 54 before taking an angle back towards the net.
No tenía mucho turbo Diaz.
To make the save, but he thought it was worth the trade-off. Was unable to stop First Killer from extending the lead. This kickoff
Aquí igualado.
he should be able to get everything he wants.
Un poco favor a
Bounce
Diaz.
out to the midfield as he tries to watch First Killer on the other side of the ball. That flick met by First Killer early in its progress. First Killer has to power shoot. He doesn't have any other boost to do anything else, but he's so good that it's almost in. It just barely crossbar out.
That's a good bail by Diaz. He realized he wasn't going to get there, so just hope the crossbar would cover him, which it did. Now Diaz with a boost advantage in offense. First killer trying to survive. He's got momentum as he flies out of his net. Sticks to the ball. Here comes Diaz again. Doesn't quite get it directly off the wall, but that's going to finish. With the
5-3.
tap in. First killer managed to survive for a little bit there, but eventually Diaz found a way through.
Yeah, first killer, no boost.
Buen challenge,
On that awkward corner on the wall there. Diaz knows he's not going to be moving out of that or making a good play quickly, so he just slams it off the wall, back out to the net. I'm sure he wouldn't have minded if it went straight into the net, but it did need a bit of a follow-up as this one remains close. 2 minutes left to go. Diaz with 12 boosts needs to be really careful, and he wasn't careful enough, so first killer will get a free one.
A veces sale mal hacer eso.
Yeah, I'm not sure what Diaz was looking for.
Meter tanta presión.
He was on, you know, a very,
Si el rival
very
es
low boost as well, so there's obviously not going to be any
listo,
recovery.
puede ganar tranquilamente.
First killer had control, so yeah, Diaz probably biting off more than he could chew there.
Paciente
Even
también.
if he, did get exactly
Él
what he
esperó
wanted,
bastante.
I still don't really see what the upside would have been. He's got what he wants here though: space, boost, and ball. The golden trifecta in 1v1. First killer closes the gap though. He's found another way through. Diaz, own goals in an attempt to clear it.
You said maybe the previous series taught Diaz not to take his wall to air dribbles, but I might have to go back and watch the tape there because that is Diaz being shook, being afraid. When does he not take that air dribble? Instead of taking that air dribble, he cuts it back down to the ground. Almost no player does that, let alone somebody who's as good as he is in the air. And then first killer turns and dives to take advantage of that and gets a freebie. I mean, Diaz, from my perspective, you got to play your game. Why are you not playing your game? You're allowing first killer, to take away one of your best weapons without even having to try.
Perfect.
Diaz, he's had enough of this one. He's seen 8 first killer goals, and that's more than he wants to see. He wants to go next.
Yeah, in that situation, absolutely. When he's already down by 3 and, he's got a little bit more than a minute left to play, I think that's when he just has to go for it and has to back himself to score more often than not. When he's got a lead or when he's tied, I can kind of see what he's doing here. He's trying to, I think, capitalize on the fact that first killer doesn't like to take risks. First killer doesn't really like to take risky challenges. But yeah, Diaz at 3-2 down, trying too hard to catch first killer overextending. That doesn't work. Gets picked apart, and then there was the big moment. Diaz could have gone for the wall play, instead cuts in field and just gets completely dunked on. Yeah, the cut in field is one thing, but the fact he's not even shielded the ball while doing it is very unusual.
Yeah, it's not easy. I mean, there's a reason why. I've talked about this in the ones game before. When the aerial game started to become a thing, you could still choose to do it and sometimes not. But then as this ones meta progressed, there are moments in time in which the game state calls for an air dribble. It wants you to air dribble, and players who try to pull away from that or try to go against the flow oftentimes have a really tough time forcing the issue. And I never would have thought Diaz would, would go against the flow for an air dribble, so it's just really surprising for me to see from him. And he might have good reason.
Pensé que Diaz iba a tener una superioridad más alta, pero
but he has been doing that in games that he hasn't.
Ya le sabe más jugar
We'll see if he sticks to that.
al Diaz, el first killer.
That are rolling up the wall, back down to the ground. Normally, there's no place on the field where he couldn't do it. Even if it's his back wall, he usually takes him. He doesn't like him right now. We'll see. We'll find out why.
And he's back in the Fennec, so he's lost game 1, switched to the Octane, lose game 4, back to the Fennec, and now he's winning.
Genius.
It might seem like pure placebo, but this will definitely switch up the way that Diaz is approaching on kickoffs, hitting the ball on kickoffs.
Ahí se puede defender mejor. Creo que lo mejor ahí era controlar la bola y tenerla al ladito del coche.
Will just change things from first killer's perspective as well. So it's a nice little change up that Diaz can go for here. He makes it 2-0 in 14 seconds.
El kickoff.
And yeah, this is something you'll see in threes as well. Just the card change, and then straight away a player's leveled up.
Yeah, Diaz does not mind making changes. I have to think back to a moment in which I saw him on land changing camera settings while sitting at the desk. That doesn't seem like something you should be doing, but maybe Diaz is just kind of player that switches it all the time. I know there's some pros out there who get camera setting placebos, and they're like, that one FOV didn't work, so let me just slightly change it for this next game and I'll play differently. Diaz is clearly willing to do that, but now he's finally doing one of the dribbles he's known for. He's gonna fake here. First killer falls for it. This is the Diaz we know and love.
The fact he's just got 3 consecutive touches in the air that are within a couple of millimeters of the ceiling. Just Diaz things. Will it be a return to the norm for the defending
Tiene que
North
cambiar el saque
American
de First
champion?
Killer.
He's been waiting all day. Has
Cambio el
this whole
saque de
game,
Diaz.
first 4 games, just been conditioning First Killer to expect
Hola.
a grounded version of Diaz,
Hola.
and now he's
Hola.
fully unleashed again? Or is he just now playing right-handed?
Yeah, maybe. He reads First Killer off the wall. These are the ways I expect him to counter First Killer trying to stop his aerial game. It's what you see more often than those cuts down to the ground. And you know, right now it's working for him, so I don't know why he'd go away from it. He's got another reset. These are positions that Diaz is so good in. This time it gets saved. I wouldn't mind seeing him shoot a little bit more near post because he keeps trying to shoot far post and allowing First Killer to get that save across net. But even then, he hasn't conceded immediately, so it's still a play that's not terrible for him.
Big directo.
And he probably should stick to a bit more.
Oh, careful. Oh,
Y casi,
not quite enough on that first touch. It's hit the inside of his own post. Diaz looking for another mind game. First Killer plays the ball though. Hard to fake him out in that position. First Killer. He must be wondering what is going on. Why is this guy leveled up again?
Wow.
It's 5-0 inside of 90 seconds. And despite this being a significantly improved performance, when compared to last year, we're still Diaz favored.
Definitely. First Killer needs to
Otra vez llegando un
now.
saque.
Wave dash kickoff. He needs to stop this ball rolling.
Wave dash
Got the
kickoff.
possession in his favor, trying to hold power slide there for a little bit, but then bailed out of it. Diaz floating from the ceiling. First Killer met by him. He doesn't seem to be too panicked by it. He's just going to go to the opposite wall. Get another dribble. This first touch is away from the net. So he's
se le fue el control.
early. Decided I can't score it. I'm instead going to try and just play this follow-up position.
Oh, no way.
But we didn't get a couple great touches, and Diaz got a long shot.
Uf.
A fake by Diaz.
Metió una repasada en este partido de momento.
Personally thought this is going across the box for the boost. He flipped in that direction to win the race.
0-6.
But Diaz isn't going for that boost. He's going for the shot on target. It's 6-0. Diaz is really locked in now, much like he did against Zach after falling down in that series. Got that other gear to go to. Can First Killer find his?
Diaz high pop, knows First Killer's low on boost.
Oh,
Follow-up is in, playing great keep away from a defender who cannot do much but watch. Literally 0, not even a pad to pick up. You see First Killer trying to get more. Nope, he's not going to get that. It's going to have to be with just his jumps, and it's not enough.
And it just goes to show you the levels in this game. I mean, even in the pro level, First Killer crushes Evo in the semi-final. Diaz now 7-0 up on that same First Killer in Game 5 of the Grand Final. And you look at last season, Diaz goes and only takes a game off Naupo and lands. You know, these guys really are levels above. That's going to be 8 as First Killer gets faked again. Diaz is inside his head rent-free.
It makes me wonder, have we seen a First Killer?
Ay, casi.
I can't remember. Maybe you have.
Forfeit, ¿no?
He can't even forfeit yet. It's not even half-time.
Yeah, it's a good point. I'm not
8-0.
that he's going to forfeit now, but that he might forfeit in a game like this, you know? It'd be pretty funny to
Dificilísimo de remontar.
just call next while he's floating
Es
in the
imposible.
air because he didn't win the kickoff.
Bueno, sí.
You could see it now. I mean, 9-0.
9-0.
Diaz has full control. His car's not moving. There
Wow.
it is. Wow. First Killer's had enough. 9-0 for Diaz will be the game scoreline.
It's a crazy game.
Copos muy malos del First Killer en este partido.
A First Killer is playing this well, who just dominated his semi-final against an excellent ones player in Evo. But Diaz switches back to the Fennec and remembers who he is.
Yeah, just, I can't believe what we just saw. You talked about the levels that we're at. You know, when I was watching First Killer in that last semifinal, I was also thinking about that in my head. Is there another level? Is someone's gonna maybe destroy First Killer this bad? Which is insane to see. How is it possible that First Killer, who just dominated, you know, a top 4 NA player as thoroughly as he did, could maybe get dominated 9-0 in a game against his next opponent? But that's just how it goes in ones at the highest level. These players who are not just good, not just S tier, but the ones who win tournaments and get themselves on this very exclusive LAN. Almost nobody gets to go to these LANs. Diaz is the kind of player who gets there. It's just another step up. That being said, First Killer has gotten a couple nice wins here. You know, it's not the end of the world. He does get to reset the scoreline to 0-0 and try and regain from this, but Diaz has all the momentum he could ever hope for to try and finish off this series.
Yeah, that full pitch air dribble was a factor in game 5. It was early in game 5, the full field into the fake. That's got to be the scariest thing for First Killer to witness, because it did seem like you mentioned Diaz wasn't playing his usual
Si gana este
style.
partido, Díaz se gana la serie
Adapted,
y clasifica al mundial de 1v1.
be more safe, be more careful against First Killer. Now he's just gone all guns blazing and 9-0'd him, so expect to see more of that here. Can First Killer stop him? It would start by getting a
Vale,
goal.
buen saque de First Killer ahora sí.
Diaz into the back corner. Will we see an air dribble from or some kind of aerial play? He actually tapped it away, maybe because First Killer was around the area. First Killer able to control it. Diaz has to look and be careful to not get bumped by First Killer on this back line. As yet another air dribble starts. Diaz has a bit of boost to work with, but First Killer is around him and has an early lead.
Excellent shot by First Killer, and he does what he couldn't do in game 5. It's actually massive power he's able to get in that last touch. It's difficult to generate more power when you're air dribbling at the ball like that. Had to really stretch his neck out for it. Diaz was closing the distance quickly. Here comes Diaz again. Goes for the low 50 mid-air this time. Trips up First Killer in the follow-up. Does get so many backup positions, Diaz. Oh, he's landed on the inside of his post. That's going to give it to First Killer, and it's going to be a shot immediately as well. Diaz, tricky position. First Killer, wait, is he overextended? Surely not. No, he will get back to this.
Mala decisión de Díaz ahí.
Scores. Diaz is dove. Yep, First Killer, no nonsense. 2-0.
Yeah, I was watching from Diaz POV, and you know, he tried to shoot the long shot, sure, it didn't go in. Now it's time to concede the fact that you gave up possession. But no, Diaz wanted to see what else he could do. He just followed it all the way down, and every last moment of that, I thought, what's he gonna do? What's he gonna do? Oh, he's just gonna give him the ball. There is not a secret. It didn't look like a good challenge. It ended up not being a good challenge. First Killer, I can't believe he's got 2 in the first minute after he just got absolutely routed by Diaz in the last game. Yes.
Hola, Emanuel.
First Killer does know how to stop it, or at least is trying to stop it by staying close. He's able to redirect it off target.
It's actually crazy to see that that's the go-to defensive strategy. But
podría ser, no sé.
First Killer to dive in that early. You do not want to give Diaz the reset, even if it's close to his half, even if it was in his
Más seguro es que mañana.
Now the fight for the
Hoy no
backcourt
sé.
boost. Diaz wave dash bumps First Killer off of it. Looked like First Killer was on that way too soon. Pros still, like all of us, not adapted to the new update, but First Killer, no issues, stays in offense and scores with a nice pass to himself off the sidewall.
That's so funny to watch him just camped on the corner and then get bumped off, not even get the boost after waiting there forever. But this is just such a momentum-based series right now. 9 straight goals for Diaz in that last game. Now a 3-0 start for First Killer. Almost 2 minutes off the clock without a Diaz goal after he put up 9 in just about the same amount of time, but he does get this over the top of First Killer for his first.
And First Killer sticking to the same game plan in defense, just getting up into the air early, deny the reset. Unfortunately for him here, Diaz didn't play for one. He just air dribbles over the top of him. Really got me wondering, if First Killer wins this game, would Diaz go back to the Octane again? Or would the fact that he's won a game 9-0 in the Fennec make him stay with the Fennec for game 7?
A ver,
This
Díaz.
is game 7 all of us are hoping
Ah,
for.
pero no le pegues
Diaz
directo.
sick of the pre-jumps, just
La
takes a long
regalo,
shot. And it's not a long shot you expect to go in, but it will make First Killer think twice about pre-jumping next time.
He got a sweet bounce out of the back wall. He really wants a demo, and he's not going to get it. First Killer managing to dodge to get away from that, but still very low boost. Diaz trying to muscle First Killer away from the play. Now he's got a low boost defender as he goes to the ceiling height, gets the reset, pancaking with the
No, se le
ceiling,
fue.
but didn't stay in control of it, and First Killer able to take over.
Yeah, First Killer put him off there. He just appeared in front of him. Now First Killer at the other end, looking for a low 50 of his own. Got the reset just in case. Both these guys desperately trying to read each other's almost unreadable aerial games. Very low scoring game, especially with the offensive prowess on show. First Killer once more.
Buen challenge.
Jumps immediately.
Qué bueno.
Shuts it down.
4-1.
Diaz thinking, well, surely he backs off because I've just taken a long shot from a similar position, but no. First Killer sees the air dribble coming.
And even when Diaz, who has sight around the ball, notices First Killer's going to challenge, he tries to adjust the dribble so that he can win the 50, but First Killer just too strong, too quick, arrives before Diaz is ready. Diaz has to be careful here. That shot
Hay
is
dribbling,
not good enough. First
control.
Killer's going to rush it straight back the other way. Diaz does manage to make up for his mistake and get back to make the save. but it's a tough position to be in. He's going to get a chance to try again this time. Now with the carry, he can't get up into the air off of that position in the corner. Fakes, and First Killer doesn't fall for it. Now maybe a chance in the air. First Killer coming down from the ceiling. He loves
buena
it.
salvada.
He challenges and he intercepts this.
He's just wasting Diaz's time here. First Killer playing survival mode. Diaz has a huge boost advantage though, and will 50 it in for his second goal of the game. A very impressive defense from First Killer to survive this long.
Yeah, and Diaz just pulling it out as far as he can to the middle of the net or out to the opposite post. So First Killer has no choice but to jump and dive across, and he can win 50 in.
Aquí le ganó el saque Díaz.
First Killer, he tried to, but First Killer saw it coming and flipped through in order to counter that physical play. And now he's faked a challenge in and got Diaz to drop this ball on the ground. Interesting.
Muy suave ese flick.
First Killer has looked so good when chasing down the ball on zero boost. He's managed to regain control. But Diaz has this rolling in the corner. Will he take it to the air? Where is First Killer? He's off on the bottom left there. Diaz going the distance of the field. Fakes the flick. First Killer jumps and still makes the save, but it is Diaz's possession. At least I thought it was. First Killer doing enough to bully Diaz off for a moment. Diaz recognizing, no, I can go back in and take control, but now he's just handed it over. It's going to be First Killer's as he sets up on the side wall. This could help secure a Game 7 if you can finish this one off, but he tried an air roll instead of going for a reset. Diaz was there for it. Counterattack, soft touch. I'm not sure he's going to modify this. That is not the best play from that point.
Yeah, First Killer's doing so well to stay with the play, despite being stuck on zero boost in defense so many times. Now Diaz forced back to the ground by First Killer's free jump. He cannot find a way through the defense that First Killer sets up at the halfway line. Now here comes the long shot. First Killer's stranded. He doesn't have any boost. He still gets the save.
Eso es lo que está equivocándose Díaz. A veces le pega directo cuando no hay que pegarle directo.
No, First Killer stops him again.
First Killer is playing on.
En este partido parece que es del Skiller.
He maintains his speed so well, and a great flick to just put an exclamation point on the end of this game. He's got Diaz wanting to go next. You know what? North America betrayed us last time, betrayed the 1v1 game mode, not giving us a Game 7, but they have given us a forgiveness. We got Game 7.
Vale, último partido ya.
North American 1v1.
Decide quién gana.
Once again, 1v1 delivers scripts all throughout the world. We've had Game 7 in Europe, we've had Game 7 in MENA. I believe we even had Game 7 in SAM, if my memory is not failing me here. And North America as well. Game 7. It's just truly unbelievable how often this has happened throughout the years. But this time, it's First Killer going toe-to-toe with Diaz. We knew that he was going to be the main competition when we saw the players who have signed up for this, but we didn't think he'd be able to step up this much from being swept 4-0 last year. Now, he is right there on Diaz level.
Yeah, North America was a threat to be the most run-of-the-mill, the most chalk bracket. Just put Diaz right back there on LAN. Over in MENA, there's a couple different contenders who can take anybody down. Same thing with EU. I mean, EU is tough. South America, I'll admit, I thought South America was maybe second place. You know, I thought a Yan was, or maybe a Swift. Yeah. But even then, we saw a completely new player, neither of those two. And now NA proving that it is not free for Diaz. He has a chance still to be the representative and to get another chance on LAN. I think he desperately wants it. And in 1v1, you don't get LANs multiple times throughout the year. You've got to wait a full year before you're going to get another chance.
Puede ganar
Diaz
cualquiera.
be bummed if he has to do that and can't correct his mistakes last time around.
First,
he has to get through First Killer here on
ganó el
Champions
Díaz.
And for the first time in the series, Diaz has lost a game and he's stayed in the same car. After that 9-0 earlier on, I think
Generalmente el 1v1 es
pretty good about the Fennec. It is his main car. Oh, he just barely gets away from First Killer's demo threat early.
El que tenga mejor kickoff sabe ganar, generalmente.
First Killer escapes that one.
Mejores kickoffs.
So close to being demoed. First Killer stays on the ball though, and it's 1-0.
Diaz almost had a spectacular recovery as he got a reset off the ball and maybe used that to get back in net. If he had chipped that up and saved
no defendió bien el Díaz,
so impressed.
Me puede haber sacado.
Instead, it's going to be First Killer who starts off in the lead.
El saque.
Into the wave dash kickoff. Maybe another chance on net. Diaz cuts it off and grabs the 100. First Killer going to be forced back. What does Diaz go to when he has a bit of space? It's going to be his wall to air dribble this time. Out of the corner. Great first touch. Has the reset. Everything can be threatened, but he goes to the ground and First Killer covers it.
I would have liked to see a high shot there to start off the game for Diaz. He does still get the goal as first killer loses control in the following play. He just panicked. He thought Diaz was going to go up immediately there, but first killer was not contested on that play.
Pudo haber sacado también mejor el first killer, pero
Diaz, even though he doesn't score on the immediate air dribble,
en ese momento
for being able to keep possession as well. Does that this time.
es jodido pensar bien.
Now gonna pop this one up and have to go to the back corner for 100. Oh wow.
Hacer correctamente.
Just gonna shoot right away. Diaz able to stop that.
Porque tienes ese miedo a que te vaya a rusear o algo de eso. Rushear.
He's gonna let it bounce out through the midfield. First killer positions the net. The flick is just barely off. Diaz wants to force it, but recognizes he does not want to go up for the ball. But maybe he should have, because going back down to the ground just leaves the net open.
Diaz and first killer are both looking nervous in game 7. First killer gave away possession just moments ago. Diaz could not convert with it, and now Diaz second guessing himself. Not quick enough down to the ground though to stop first killer's long shot, which seems like it's going to be a continued part of first killer's game here. Going for so many shots from distance, so many early challenges. Against Diaz aerial game, there's no reset there for first killer. Diaz knew. Both players, about half a tank of boost. First killer shoots, Diaz saves.
Le pego muy suave.
These low boost situations, first killer's been so good in. Diaz though,
Lo
gonna make it
bombeó.
not a low
No way.
situation. Oh, first killer afraid of the demo, pulled away, just didn't take the
Espero lo
shot.
bombeo,
As
el
Diaz
first
was
killer.
returning, he wanted to evade it, he did. Still doesn't have any boost to work with. He'll finally get 100. Great setup for
dribbling.
an air dribble right here. He keeps
Pega,
it
first
low,
killer.
making it tough
Digo,
for Diaz to
Diaz.
try and challenge back down off the ceiling. That being said, Diaz still makes contact. He's trying to float it away. Able to survive as first killer only undercuts him. Now we see Diaz also looking to try and slow down the aerial play, although he's going to back off. First killer is not doing this. He's not backing off. He is challenging every time that he can when Diaz has something set up. But now it's a reversal of roles. Diaz gets the long shot.
Estos. Madre mía, tío.
Scores to tie
¿Quién
the
va a
game
ganar
from
esto?
distance. First killer got tangled up in the back corner. He was trying to trip Diaz up, but he was the one who took more of an impact from that one.
2 minutos 48 para saber quién gana.
Unbelievable scenes. These guys are
A ver el kickoff.
absolutely neck and neck. They are keeping it
Le ganó un
simple in
poquito el
game
Diaz.
7, but first killer's accidentally bumped Diaz into the ball here. Diaz now returning the favor. Both players have 100 boot.
Ball straight down from the ceiling. Could have been awkward, but Diaz left, allowing for
Peking. No, no le salió.
reflip flick. This is the first time I've seen him try and go for that all series long. It's an incredibly risky
2-3.
play, and you need tons of
3-2.
space to do it. You need to be able to completely finish your flip
Wow.
or popping through it. Diaz just reads it, dunks it, and gets a goal.
I mean, that's just so aggressive by Diaz. First killer thought he was going to give him space. Diaz does not. He stays active. Wants to stay in
Opa,
control,
se le
but
fue.
now he's missed his ball. This is the most nervous we've seen both of these guys.
Vale,
First
first
killer's
killer,
got a wide open net, takes his time, and then paddles it in with about as little confidence as I've ever seen
Locura.
from him. That was
Vaya
safe,
fallo.
which is all that matters.
Hasta los mejores les pasa.
All knotted up. Who is going to shake it off earlier and start to just make the little things happen, just the right touches in the midfield in order to play your somewhat regular game. That could be the difference here. Diaz going to leave that boost at the midfield, and now will he take an air dribble? He still feels confident.
drible.
First killer is of course going to rise up
Ahí
to
llegó,
meet him
first
as
killer.
early as possible. Diaz will get the back corner boost steal and sets up the other way. Both of them going to race off to the other side. Diaz gets there first, gets first killer off the ball. Now has a reset way far away from the net. He's going to find a way to score this. He tried the wave dash shot. He'll steal the opposite boost. He doesn't mind doing this as many times as he needs to. First killer you see picking up pads, so he has something to work with. He's almost got a full tank off of it.
Dios.
Diaz shoots
Eso tenía que haber sido
directly
gol.
at him. Now
Yeah,
first
first
killer
killer.
though.
Rollo Diaz ahí.
He's building his boost back up. He's managed to turn over the possession. Diaz pops it over his head. First killer's on 0, but he beats Diaz to the punch.
Cool.
Chance
Un
to go
trocito.
up by 1. And
Oh
again,
my
he
God.
takes it. Composure for the North American.
Great defensive sequence there from first killer. You find yourself having to deal with Diaz taking the back corner boost back and forth, left and right. First killer recognizes his moments in which he can build up an entire tank and escape from defense briefly.
Dios.
It's going to be enough to at least help him for now, but he's going to be in that
Vaya
same spot
recovery.
first killer was in earlier. Is his defense as
Reset.
good as first killer's is? Air dribble reset,
Come on.
top shelf. First killer is up 2.
And first killer's first touch is just better than any of the ones Diaz had. Had the goal in front of him, could see where Diaz was,
Casi, pero no.
and he didn't waste any time getting it on target. First killer by 2 in what's been An incredibly back and forth grand final. First killer fake kickoff. Diaz saw it,
Faking,
chips it on
fake.
target. First killer's still got momentum in net, but no boost to play with.
Opa.
Diaz flicks it over him, and that's going to
Buena
be
tú.
4. What a kickoff by Diaz.
5-4.
Diaz converting this time around. Every time first killer is on 0 boost now in net, I don't worry for him. I don't worry for him at all because he's been so good at making the right play, making the right challenge to survive. This time, he dives in and Diaz does manage to get
Hola,
over the
Mateo.
top of him. That's normally the result from players in that position. First killer has just convinced me that it's not the case. Diaz over touches the ball. He's now going to fully reset. This is Diaz's game. First killer isn't allowing it. No back wall air dribble. He chases down the ball. And Diaz now has to be careful not to hand this possession over to first killer. It should be his. He is finally going to get first killer to back off. It's a crucial
Madre mía, tú.
He reads the early challenge and Diaz has equalized.
5-5.
Oh, that is just cold from
Están
Diaz.
igualadísimos.
Twice in a row. He has perfectly timed first killer's challenges. And I really do mean perfectly. First killer faked a challenge, let go of his boost just for a moment. And then as soon as he goes again, Diaz makes a double jump.
44 segundos para ver quién gana. 42, 41, 40, 39, 38, gol de First Killer.
He gets the kickoff goal right back.
He undercuts Diaz here, gets the wave dash and uses that to get down to the ground just a little bit faster. Preflips is trying to put himself where he knows Diaz is headed to undercut him and get that advantage.
5.
And he has it now, not just
Kickoff.
in that game, but up 1. Diaz looking down at first killer to see what he's up to. Going to the back
Yes.
wall for a double. Tries to get a 50 so he can keep it around and get a follow.
Dios,
That's
6-6.
exactly what he does.
Qué locura es esto.
And he hits first killer with the same idea. Double tap from Diaz. Actually leaned away from the second touch though to keep the ball in the area. He predicted first killer's save, trips him up at the landing, and we're all tied up again.
Huge kickoff on the diagonal. Diaz gets the 100 boost and he gets a free bounce. Will he take it to the air?
El dribbling.
First killer's up immediately with him. Diaz getting lost a little bit underneath the ball. They're going to meet it around.
Uf, le ganó a First Killer, me parece.
Cannot get the shot on
No, pero estaba
target.
complicado meterla.
So it's going to be Diaz possession. 12 seconds left to go. Could be the final possession.
Ay, no.
Of
Y
this
tengo
game.
pelota para
Diaz
Diaz.
off the wall. First killer needs to meet at the midfield.
Dios,
Not
buena
an easy
salvada.
challenge from first killer, but he manages to get
Tengo
up
pelota
there.
para First Killer.
Now really try and keep it up in the final moments. He's got a ball
Como
carry.
intento.
Diaz shadowing, dunks it down
Dios.
the ground. We got OT in game 7.
Creo que era mejor un flick rápido. ¿Eh?
Who's gonna clutch up? Who's gonna lock in?
Todo se decide por el
Diaz has got
kickoff,
the first
puede
chance,
ser.
First killer. Gonna
No.
play ball and low boost. Diaz trying to get a turn here without getting dunked on. He's got it. Ground to air dribble. First killer's up again. Pre-jumping him.
Dios.
And Diaz is gonna steal the boost away.
He got pushed into the corner. Now first killer low on boost. Diaz in the air. First killer on the back wall to try and stop it. Diaz goes all the way around him. Never
Puede haber
tries
sido
to
gol
put it on
tranquilamente,
target.
eso,
He's got
Y el
first
Killer
killer
no tenía
in such a
turbo.
tough spot, but he's escaped this so many different times this series. It's going to be a attempt. First killer goes underneath, but he can't get
Por un gol le ganan.
Diaz gets the win.
Wow.
GG's. Diaz defends his title in the most dramatic fashion. First
GG's.
killer pushed him to a place he's never had to go. Least of all in North America, but at the end of the day, there's only so many air dribbles you can defend. First killer defended so many of them. But Diaz
Un partido troleó muy
emerged
fuertemente el First Killer.
Diaz just did such a good
¿Cuánto le ganó ese
job
partido? Creo que
converting
11, ¿no?
that
0, algo así.
possession, got control. First killer was forced to back off.
No, ese
multiple
partido jugó muy
different
mal.
times, and ultimately going back to one of the most reliable moves in 1v1, the pop bump.
Si hubiera jugado mejor ese partido, tal vez hubiera ganado
He
él.
got underneath it, but he couldn't stop it. Diaz is going to go to land once again.
He will be North America's representative. He's going to be taking on Nas in the semi-finals of the World Championship for 1v1. His second appearance, he's going to try to go one step further than he did before. But what a grand final, what a performance by both. Let's head back to the desk to break it down.
It wasn't decided until the final moment, but Diaz is back to
Bueno, mi gente, hasta aquí
North American
el directo reaccionando a la
champions.
RLCs
What a game, what a
a la semifinal
series. I mean, stacks.
y a la
So
gran
what you
final.
watched on Championship Sunday.
Nos vemos mañana
And still,
And
what a
still.
performance.
para jugar
Man,
Rankeds y privada seguramente.
You know, again, we go
Go.
all day expecting, okay, like we're all here
Like y
to see
suscríbase,
Diaz's
¿eh?
first killer, right? And we gave everybody the opportunity to play spoiler and show why they deserve to be in the final. Nah. It was Diaz and first killer, and it